Hello, Brickworld family. Thank you for joining us once again for another episode of Think Outside the Blocks. I am one of your hosts, Mark Larson, and this is your main host, the guy who's here the most, Mr. Ben Hauger. How you doing this week, sir?
S for second, because I might be your main host. I don't know if that's even true, but I'm everybody's second favorite host except for Lego Team B and Z Spouse.
Okay, fair enough.
But also S for a second time, because we did S with Simon.
Yeah,
We're bringing it back by popular demand.
great. Yeah, S is a popular letter. We got some comments from the Tainted already. We had some pre-play gang going on tonight. S is also for the tasty sandwich that I'm stuffing into my face right now. That is good to know. That creates a beautiful picture for us to imagine you, Rialgar. And Ben has hair. Yeah. Hey, is this the first time we've seen you without a hat? I think we've seen your hair before.
I don't know. Normally it's a little shaggier, but it had a cut a couple weeks ago. We were at my niece's confirmation today. I haven't had a chance to put the hat on, so
Gotcha.
there we go. Look at that, showing some head skin today.
That's yeah. So it's it used to be S for shaggy, and now it's S for silky.
S for smooth. Yes.
That's right. Rob Claxton is in the house. Hello, Rob. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Looks like Monica Berry is also here. I missed that one. Awesome. Glad everyone's here this week. Kelly Mullinex is here from our Fort Wayne show. She and her whole family helped us out this year, and it was her first year displaying, and hopefully she'll be vending there next year. And Rialgar says head skin.
Yeah. Yes, S for skin.
We did hear that tonight.
Yes. It's different than a skin head. I'm showing some head skin. Totally different.
Yes.
I don't want to be associated with that other thing. So
yeah, I think maybe also it's time to switch up the intro. It's fun. It does get me going for sure. It's pretty dramatic, but we've used it now for what, 24 episodes?
Something like that.
I don't even know.
It's definitely epic.
Yeah. Oh, 24. It's up in the corner of my screen. I can see it. This is episode 24, and maybe for the 25th, probably not, because I won't be on next week. Ben, I'll be in Detroit.
Okay.
We can either find you a co-host, or I could play that saved video I have of one of the lost episodes.
Ooh. Maybe we'll take a poll later.
Look at me. I'm rocking my ACOB shirt tonight. I said it had S for shrunk in the wash, and apparently it had not. But perhaps I was a little too large for it for a little bit. Perhaps I was a little swollen in some areas.
S for swollen.
Yep. As I say, swollen and not swole, because I don't think it was these. I think it was this that was causing the problem. But that's gone. So goodbye to those extra pounds that were causing me not to be able to advertise for ACOB with my chest. So shall we take a look? Very. So we take a look at the run of show for the night.
Oh, we absolutely should. And here we go. Whoa. Here we go. S for a second time. We're going to talk about some new stuff, aka our MOCs again.
Yep.
And then a couple of topics Mark wanted. Shipping and the struggle is real, where we're going to talk some sorting. We could do a whole episode on sorting, though. So we'll definitely end up coming back to it, but we can talk about it a little. And then a new segment, we're going to do speedrun. And here's some of the topics for speedrun. And then last but not least, surprise show. I don't know what that one means, but I'm eager to find out.
Yeah, I'm eager as well, because it's not really S for solid yet. But I'm going to talk about it anyway, because that's a bad idea. Monica Berry does point out that scalp does start with an S. So if you wanted to use something besides head skin, there are other options, I think.
Yeah. Can you see my scalp? I mean, maybe way at the top. I think I'm balding back here a little bit, but I don't know. Silky. Let's just go with silky.
Yeah. And so Monica, thank you for the suggestion, but rejected. Scorpios, that's right. Rialgar and I are Scorpios. We had birthdays this week. Whoops, there. Hey, yep, birthdays. Just do it this way. Come on, birthday.
No effect.
I'm just gonna sit here and do this.
There it goes. There it goes. We knew it was gonna happen.
All right, Avaris, what did you come in with? Were we talking scalp? Because if it was head skin and scalp, we've had a lot of people join us for the first time with much worse conversation, which is why our chat is called The Tainted. So please let us know what it was you heard when you came in, because who knows what we're going to say on this stream. We don't even know what we're saying half the time. I certainly don't. I love watching this back and realizing how obvious some of the comments are. But in the moment, I don't know why it's so difficult. Like, I think Monica Berry said something literally based on something I'd said 10 seconds earlier in last week's live stream. And I was just like, I don't know what she means. It was the arms. It was the arms go in front of your nose. They don't grow in front of your nose. I was like, what is she? What on earth does that
Yep.
mean? I'd just been
Yep.
talking about mustache arms. Derby Ricks is back. Thank you. Now that I know I didn't meet you 2 weeks ago, enjoy the hair while it lasts. Yes, I am already using the Rogaine and all the S for shampoos that are supposed to stimulate my scalp. Ibarra says, yes, thinning hair. All right. Well, hey, it's
Yes.
not as
And I happen to know who this Aberis character is. So he I don't know if he has thinning hair or not. Haven't got a good look at his head in a while, but he has, when he grows it out, a luscious red colored beard.
Oh,
Can't get
nice.
over that.
I think that's the progress. Is that when we go bald, we're supposed to grow gigantic beards.
Grow badass beards. Yep.
Grow gigantic beards.
Yep.
Those are the words I was looking for. Yes, the mustache arms. Derby says, I have learned that you have to include context in comments. Yeah, I mean, yes, that may help a little bit, but also in watching them back, I don't think it's that. I think I need to I think my brain needs more practice at processing what's happening during the show. So
Yeah,
Ben,
it's okay. I think I get them about 85% of the time. So
no, I'm lucky to have you here because I'm like, Ben, what do they mean?
As a S for sounding board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Monica Berry says, perhaps my wording threw you for a loop. I mean, it was really obvious on the replay. What you meant, and it was painful for me to watch me go. So Ben,
Yeah,
we're gonna start with some new stuff.
of course.
That's something to show us, I believe.
I do. Are you ready already?
I am ready.
Let's
I can't wait to see this thing
Let's
in
just
action.
go to this. Here we go.
Yes, please do.
And we're gonna solo this bad guy here.
That's Plinko. Love it.
All right. So this week, this is what I worked on. And everyone's like, why did you make a really basic looking ugly Plinko board? Well, the answer is my family was participating in Trunk or Treat, right? And so when you're doing that, you oftentimes bring both a decorated trunk and a game to play, usually. So we talked about doing Plinko. We've done for a number of years, like a beanbag toss with some sort of stuffed animal. So this time we were trying to mix it up a little. And the big issue was I said I could build a Plinko board, but didn't have time to build a Plinko board. So last minute, we decided to do it, and we did it out of Lego.
Nice.
So, I'm not going to proclaim that this is the best Lego work I've ever done, because it's not. However, it did exactly what it was supposed to do, served the exact purpose I needed it to. Yeah. And I think if I was going to do a version 2, the obvious thing to really change would probably be to do some sort of, mosaic or something instead of this very basic skull and crossbones thing at the top here.
I agree.
But yeah, but it does work. So here's my substitute coin.
Yes, this is what we've been waiting for.
Yes, we were actually using a Pokemon coin.
Okay.
During the day, but it would get stuck sometimes. These coins work a little better.
I don't know what the Lego purist would say about that Pokemon coin in there.
Well, wasn't exactly Lego purist thing at Trunk or Treat, but here we go. And it landed right down in the 3.
Ooh, oh,
and
nice.
Here we go. Another drop from the top. This time we'll get the look from the bottom. There it comes.
Ooh, nice.
So this is what I ended up spending my Lego time on, is a little Plinko board.
That's cool. Rialgar points out that that's a lot of black tile, and Ben and I have our hands on quite a lot of black tile because the collaborative build we did this year was all black. And my black collection will never be the same. It is all over the place. We'll talk a little bit more about that tonight when we talk about shipping. But the is again, I just burp in the middle of a sentence. This is what aging is about. You just sometimes these things just happen. Lego Team BS, where's the orange?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we know where the orange is. It's buried in all my ships.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what I was down to. And yeah, as Mark said, I happen to have a lot of black.
Yeah,
So
we both do. Um, Realgar says once you go black, um, Ab- Abaris. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. You do
Barris.
Abaris.
Barris. Yep.
Abaris. All right. Looking forward to version 2 of Plinko, including light bricks. Yes, that would be
Mm,
very cool.
that's definitely a possibility. They could land on the bottom there and trigger a light brick, all kinds of cool stuff.
So let me ask you a question. Do you want to spend any of your Lego building time chunking up the Plinko board? Not even not chunking it up, but not chunking it up. Sorry, chunkifying. That's the word we used. Not
Chunkifying.
chunkifying it, but putting some orange arrows in
Refining
the
it.
mosaics, or is this something that's
Yep.
just go back on the shelf and
It's hard to judge because I could see from some use for it on our stream here. But this had a theme. It was Pirate Plinko. Would I would I want a Pirate Plinko board to keep forever and ever in my house? I don't know. Um, but
yeah,
it was a fun project. It was what I spent my Lego time doing this week, unfortunately.
yeah.
But sometimes it's just kind of fun. And I was thinking about doing the Plinko board out of wood.
Okay,
That would have taken maybe more time, maybe not, but measuring it, getting it aligned just right, this was easier. Kind of my specialty anyway. So it was fun to do.
yeah. Um, Joellen
And
says.
obviously all the kids and families liked it. So
Joellen says, well, that's at least something to do with those light bricks. Um, Yeah, there's all sorts of lighting things you could do with this, though. I mean, if you wanted to,
yeah,
I Realgar suggests that you have some dusting to do on that, but I'm not sure if that's the case. I think I have this same problem with black tile. I think it's the oil from our skin that does. I think that's what we're seeing is they're just a bit like we've pressed those down a lot.
yeah.
And it's stuck that way. I don't think
It
that's
is not
dust.
dusty at all. A couple of the plates are a touch dusty,
Yeah,
but for the most part, this is all black and clean right now.
yeah.
So
I was suggest if it's not skin oil, it's just the lighting. Yeah.
yeah, it's probably see. Look at that.
Mm.
That's just from my finger right there. I can almost probably write a word. S for silly.
This is gross.
So
But I mean, I definitely realized that in the stuff that I was building this year, just like you have to kind of shine black tiles when you're done pressing them down
yeah.
because of that effect that you just so nicely demonstrated for us. Um,
Yes, indeed.
oh
Yeah,
no,
and
we got
so
it. We got it, Realgar. You said that there was a lot of dusting to do, and then you were going to get kicked. We're not going to kick you out for that. I believe that was a two bark joke. Maybe I'm wrong.
who knows?
See,
Who
Lego TV
knows?
agrees. Maybe they agree. Maybe he agrees. I'm not sure because I'm on live stream brain.
I think it's once you go black, you have a lot of dusting to do. That's the joke.
Oh, that was the two-part joke?
That's the
Ah,
two-part joke.
man.
Yes.
Once you go black. Oh, I see it now.
There you go.
There's a lot of dusting to do. That doesn't rhyme.
It's true. It's true.
Uh, we all are saying if
Yes.
you make black stuff, the dust is more noticeable. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yes. Yes.
Indeed. Yes. Just
Thanks.
gotta
Yeah.
give us a minute. We'll get back on track. We're
I love
just a little stupid.
I love feeling dumb. Thanks.
Uh,
Cool. Well, I was gonna say, the the design of it is it's Halloween. You've got the skull and crossbones on there.
mhm.
Um, and so I imagine you'd want to keep it a Halloween design if you are to use it again for. And why do you call it trunk or treat? What does that mean?
Yeah, so trunk or treat is like an event. They do it at churches and community centers where you come to a parking lot and then you decorate your trunk.
Oh,
And for the
that's
most part, everybody has SUVs and minivans these days. So there's a nice big cavernous canvas that you can do some decorating.
okay.
Our trunk or treat trunk was a pirate theme.
Of
So
course.
Rachel had a pirate, and actually by
Ah,
pirate I
yeah.
mean skeleton, behind some bars in the back with a parrot on its shoulder, and we had like an inflatable chest with the prizes in it, the candy and the slap bracelets or whatever the kids were getting. And then we had Pirate Plinko off to the side as the game to play. So,
Nice.
yep. That's what we did. And it, like I said, I basically spent Saturday morning doing this instead of getting to some, more display worthy builds. But, the kids were really looking forward to Trunk or Treat, and it's a fun activity to do. So, and like I said, I think we can use this Plinko board. We'll use it tonight on speedrun to kind of help the show a little bit. So,
all right, nice.
Yeah, might as well get a little more use out of this guy instead of just the Trunk or Treat.
It's got multiple functions. That's good.
Indeed. Indeedy it does.
Sweet. I would say there's probably a good amount of orange you could add to it to make it in a Halloween theme. I would suggest orange and purple. I don't know how piratey that would look. And that's so Halloween, basic Halloween wasn't what you were going for here.
Yeah, no, it was specific for the pirates. And I had originally there was a couple palm trees at the top. If I was going to do this again and for real, part of the reason that I went with the black was because, you can see my reflection in it. We had so much of it from our collaborative build, but also I used to create the back plane, the mosaic 16 by 16 pieces. So that's why it ended up being mostly this color.
Gotcha.
So.
Well, cool.
Yeah, Barris asks, well, what are the extra pegs for? Well, this was at a kid's Trunk or Treat experience, so I built 8 extra pegs for when they inevitably got knocked off and I had to stick them back on.
Oh, yeah.
Because these were going to be falling off onto the ground.
Yeah.
You see, I actually ended up only bringing home 7 of them. So one did end up getting lost into nothingness forever. But that's what they were for. So I did have to replace a few here and there during the course of it. And most of them I recovered. A lot of them fell down right into the little buckets down here. So they were easy to recover. But that's what they're for. So kind of came with a plan there.
That sounds awesome. I like the idea of using Lego to make game boards. We did that at we've done it at a couple Brickworld shows now, where we did the Duplo icebreaker, which is it's basically cornhole, but the boards are made out of Lego, and instead of beanbags, they're throwing Duplo penguins, which is a lot of fun. I highly recommend that if you want to steal that for a future Trunk or Treat. I don't know if it'd be Duplo penguins, but Duplo animals bounce hilariously.
Yeah, I believe it. Excuse me. So secondary colors are primary for spookiness. I bet Joellen could confirm that. Anna Bear says, well, now one of your ships is going to be missing a few cannonballs. I had a ridiculous number of 1x1 round Lego bricks. I thought about using a different color, but I just had so many of these that they're the ones that ended up getting used. But yeah. So no, I'm not short cannonballs. I just have a trillion of these silly things. So who knows? And Barris and I, childhood friends, we used to build pirate ships together when we were kids.
So you really know Barris.
I do. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Red beard and all. He'd be a great pirate with his nice red beard. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I think if I was going to redo this, the big thing would be I've never done a mosaic. So I kind of feel like that would be something I could do.
Yeah.
For something like this is to have, something different. I know a lot of people do when they do mosaics, you can just take a picture and convert it with a program. Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to do that, but I think it's pretty easy to do that. I don't know.
The more pure way of designing it on your own, I can see you wanting to do that.
There probably is, yeah, and that's probably what I'd lean towards. I mean, this was, this skull and crossbones is about as basic as you can get, but
yeah,
it conveyed the idea that I needed it to, and that was about all it took.
I'll say for your first one, it was a bit fast and dirty, so no one's really judging on it. It served its purpose for what it was doing. This is more of a utility build than something that was
utility build, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with doing that.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
Joanne confirms that her favorite colors for Halloween builds are dark purple, lime, and orange. They sound like those would be nice together. I do like a lot of her spooky builds are also like bright, you know what I mean? Which you don't necessarily expect. Like you'd think people would go with the olive green or like something a little dingy, dark orange and olive green, which doesn't sound pretty. Sounds a little bit dingy, but I think she does a great job with the stuff she's done. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend getting yourself to one of the shows that she's at because her stuff is cool. It's a labor of love for sure. She loves her holidays. Let me turn this camera on. There we go.
Yeah. Then again, blood red. Can't go wrong with blood red. I think you're right, Real Guard. Blood red's never a bad choice for Halloween and spookiness either.
Yeah.
I think if you get two, if you use red and green together though, then you're all of a sudden thinking Christmas, not Halloween.
Yeah. Good point.
Even lime green and dark red, I think, would still give me a Christmas vibe more so than Halloween.
Yeah. Agreed.
Halloween makes me happy on Pick a Brick Wall because lots of orange. So
doing some double duty over here, trying to get the outro uploaded. So I do apologize that I'm a little not fully there. What's our limit for uploads on this? I may have to file down too.
I don't know if we have one.
We definitely do. It's 200 megs, and this is 278 megs, so I'll have to do some more work on that.
Wah,
but hey, we've got time. Yeah.
Wah, wah.
All right, so let's bring this thing in here. Look at us doing transitions without having to like have one of us talk about sponsors, which we do have our sponsors to talk about.
Of course we do.
Yeah.
Look at this. I even drank one today.
Oh, nice. Which flavor is that?
This would be the black cherry flavor.
That's funny. I can identify them by the color of the can.
Yes.
I know my Zevia.
Drank that. Actually, I drank that yesterday morning while building the Plinko board.
I happen to have a bag of Dots pretzels.
Why wouldn't you?
Ready to go. I didn't get my. Come on, Sonoma. Give me my thumbs up. Yeah. This is the best snack for when you're building, sorting, working during the day at your computer. This is kind of always here. There's another bag upstairs because we had people over last night, and I was like, well, I'm not going to bring my office bag to a party. We have to get a new bag. I need this down here. Dots Homestyle pretzels, the best pretzels, the best sensational seasoning. As for sensational seasoning, on the face of the planet,
Can't miss that.
Safe to say, the most sensational seasoning on the face of the planet. So, let's take a look at. I've brought a city build this week, and it's not necessarily new. This is what we've been bringing to the show. If you guys have done a Brickworld Expo lately, you've seen this. This is what we use for the interactive city, and it looks like somebody spilled something on that road plate there. I should clean that up while I'm reconfiguring it. So the point of this is like we're trying to put a display on the floor that kids can build directly onto. So we've got these base models, and then they build 8x16 plates that fit on top of it, and they make the buildings taller. So I'm doing some work here to reconfigure it because, for one, these modules I built when we were first doing this, I was trying to build a sci-fi city, which you can see remnants of behind it. I'm still trying to do that. But it was easy to bring these because I had made these for a YouTube video. I made these during the pandemic, and the point of them was to show people how to build their own modulars, because you see a lot of people who like have like, especially train cities at Brickworld shows, who are they just use the official modulars, which are beautiful, and they make a really nice city backdrop for cool trains. But I like to see original stuff. People sometimes do complain at Brickworld, especially the Chicago show, when people are using a lot of official sets. So I was trying to create sort of a, how to build a modular, an original modular, kind of going through a process with that. I never got around to it because we started doing the virtual shows and concentrated a lot more energy on that. But so these little modules do split in half, and they used to be a little bit more elaborate, and the more people we have working the shows, working on these, the Lego Team B suggested that stain is minifig roadkill. which that is what it looks like now. I can't stop seeing that. And just go back on a couple of these. Realgar agrees that you got to be careful with that unless you're going for Christmas horror. Good point.
There are a few of those.
I would say I wouldn't mind seeing more Christmas horror MOCs, to be honest.
Yep.
I bet you Joellen Child would sounds like it would be right up her alley. She does love both holidays.
Yeah.
And Joellen says that the Winter Village is those darker colors, so she uses brighter ones for Halloween. Oh, that's interesting. So this is a color theory that she's already thought of long before we asked her about it. Monica Berry says Satellite of the Sun. So these are some S's for our show is brought to you by S, and I have no idea what she's referring to. Ben, do you know?
Well, Satellite of the Sun would be Earth. Maybe these are, human city earthly builds. I don't know. It's just what I'm going with today.
Yeah, I'm going to say the sun has a lot of satellites.
It does, but we're one of them.
We are. So don't. Yeah, I would love to know what that means, actually, because it just is like Lego Team B says, good call trying to avoid official sets at the shows. Thank you. I mean, I understand why some train clubs do it. They are highlighting their trains. And that's more what they're bringing, and they want a backdrop to it, and does save them some time. And again, those modulars are beautiful and they do make a nice city. But I do want to encourage people to bring original stuff, especially as we're running out of space. So it's usually when the complaint happens. If they like, if they're not allowed, if they're not going to be able to show at Chicago, and then they see pictures from Chicago of like the Green Grocer and like Cafe Corner. Okay, so Monica said you were making an alliterative sentence about dots and you used planet, and I was suggesting an S alternative. Thank you. I must. Most sensationally seasoned pretzels on a satellite of the sun. Okay. All right. That sounds like a catchy, very catchy motto. Slogan. Yes. That's for slogan for Dots Pretzels. Thank you, Monica, for explaining, because I really want to get over this being shocked by comments and kind of freezing up and panicking. Live stream panic. I don't know what these words mean. So what happens at the shows that we have a lot of people who work for us, a lot of S for staff that aren't necessarily Lego people, and they're in charge of this, which is like it's pretty involved. They have to get kids to build a specific way for everything to fit together, and then they have to dismantle things when we start running out of pieces. Like we kind of do a rebuild in the middle of the day, and so they keep grabbing these modules and dismantling them. I mean, and this last time, there's stickers all over these things that are like, do not dismantle, do not dismantle, do not dismantle. And somehow it happens every time. You can
see them on the top there, the blue tape there.
Yep, it's painter's tape, and it says, I put that down on tiles, and it says, do not dismantle. And it still happens. Like, and, we had a really strong group at the last show. And we've had Dawn Sloboda has been running the show and kind of managing this entire interactive and making it her own, which is fantastic. And she does a great job with it, especially with the kids. She's so great with kids. But somehow everything came back, and it was all these were like configured differently with each other. And I'm like, how did they even come off when like the very top one says do not dismantle? They were all mixed together, and I don't even know where they got some of these pieces, because we have very limited pieces. So the kids aren't like, we put a bunch of pieces out the first time we did this. And like we had tiles so they can make like snot tile bricks on the facades of their, like what we call apartments, the modules they're adding to the top. And every kid came to the table and grabbed those bricks and made a tile floor for their apartment. And so we were sitting there like for hours after the show, removing tiles from plates. So we don't allow them some of these pieces, and they had like rebuilt some of these with pieces. I don't even know where they got them. And I'm just like, okay, no more. So the objective here is to, I've reconfigured the streets to make sure that they fit in a certain way, because a lot of times what happens as well is as more and more kids build, it ends up looking like just a huge wall of modules and doesn't look like a city anymore. So I wanted to make larger buildings for the apartments to go into, so it would look more like a regular display and not just a wall of these modules. And then I'm also going to reconfigure them so that there's just a very obvious point where you stop dismantling, because there's so much missing from these. You can kind of see in like the on the first floor of all of them, they have different lamps, and like so many of those pieces have just gone missing. And it's not like kids are walking with them. They're usually mixed in with some of the other brick that we give the kids to build with. And so you'll find stuff in some of the modules sometimes that's like, oh, that came from the front of one of the ones that's not supposed to be dismantled. I don't know how that got in there. So I'm just trying to make it easier for us to onboard people, like a little bit more obvious, because these modules that you see here are the same size as the one the kids are building. So I can see how it's easily confusing. But it's time to make it a little bit more easy to onboard people, I'll say. Jolyn says she uses official sets in her villages. However, they are usually modified, sometimes heavily modified. I noticed this at the last show, actually, and we talked about this. Making the Winter Village buildings larger, giving the ideas treehouse eyes and other spooky details, etc. Yeah, Jolyn does a great job reutilizing official sets. I think that I've seen a couple other people do that where they have a modular building and they build the back of it differently or mash them up or like add something to it, like a diner on the first floor instead of like whatever's there in the actual set. I've seen some really clever uses of the existing modulars. Yeah, even that. I mean, that's something I should add when I get around to doing this demonstration video, because on our YouTube channel, I did a demonstration on building round, and it gets hundreds of views every month still. And I made it over 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was 2020 when I made it, and people are still watching it and asking for part 2 because I was like, next week in part 2, we'll talk about how to do this. And it's been 3 years. So that's kind of, I've learned how to stop saying, I'm going to do this next. So thoughts on this, Ben?
Well, I've helped do this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You did this in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee one year. Yep. And it is a really fun experience. Basically, the idea is the kids sort of have a base plate, and the base plate, it's not a base plate, but a plate that's the right size to fit inside the modular stack.
8x16 plate. Yep.
And then they just go from there. I guess to some extent, and it makes sense, you have to be somewhat limited in what you can offer the kids. There's not a lot of snot bricks, for example, in what is left for them. But there are lots of windows, lots of brick pieces, lots of stuff to be able to build these middle floors.
They add stuff like this.
There you go. Yep.
For example models. Like, it's just kind of keep building up the city. Some of them do it, they want it to match what's already there. Some of them put their own personality into it. We've had some really cute ones. There was we give them all a minifigure to like inspire them, or we let them pick a minifigure that they want to live in the apartment. And one of the kids took the brick suit minifig and built it into the wall. Like the guy accidentally got stuck there when they were building it. So it's nice to see kids be really clever and creative with it and have fun and put their own personality into it. And it gives us an opportunity. People are taking pictures. So we have the hashtag Brickworld, and this is our Instagram address, like tag us, because people take a picture of like the kid building it, and then they take a picture of the kid with the finished model, and then they take a picture with the module inside the display. And so they're taking multiple pictures of this. So it gives us secondarily gives us a good marketing opportunity as well, because people are posting all over their socials, about this activity at Brickworld.
Yeah, and it is a fun activity. Sorting the bricks after the fact isn't quite as fun.
No, it isn't.
But it's something you got to do to keep it going. I also like here that the bases have slightly different heights, so that they're not all kind of stuck together. And of course, the kids can build their modules any height they want.
Yes.
We sort of have, I think it becomes pretty standard for the most part. They all tend to end up about the same height, and I think that's because kids tend to try to build windows about 2 bricks up, and then only go, a brick, maybe 2 above the window.
Yes.
So they all end up being fairly standard, even though they're not told to do that, which is kind of interesting.
And that is kind of like when we first did this, we just had a huge tub of mixed brick, and Philip and Maria were doing it. And so they would search for parts for kids, and like the builds were really great, but that really caused a problem with like breaking them down and resorting the parts, because there was just a bunch of different piles. We didn't even have places to put back out on the table. So that was a little bit too much. And I do think it's unfortunate that we've gotten down to such a generic selection of bricks, because a lot of the modules do kind of look the same, and that does sort of enhance that that look sometimes of how it looks like I'm gonna turn off my notifications here. Well, like it's just a big wall of modules, but it is still nice to see how creative kids can get with that limited palette too, though.
Yep. Yeah, it's sort of a give and take, and that's kind of everything with Lego. I mean, what we talk about is trying to go outside of being prescriptive,
Yeah,
but sometimes you do just have a limited number of bricks and you have to be, creative with what you have.
yeah, we found this all the time at Legoland, where it was just like something needed to be a fast build. It was like a lower grade. They gave us like A, B, or C detail when they would give us a project brief. And so if you got a C detail for something, you were just like, I'm not going to be using a lot of snot technique. I'm not going to be using a lot of plate, or I'm not going to be able to get to specific with some of these details. And like you just kind of have to force yourself to be creative with what you have based on what they're at you were asked. Because if you got a C model, you'd be like, oh man. But you try to force your way into like getting something in there that looked really good, that was a faster build than if you could actually use any piece at your disposal. Because even if it was going to be like a background model, the creative always wants the best thing out there and wants to, especially when it comes to inspiring kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually built a modular building once. I gave it a try. So I still have it assembled here. We can take a look at that sometime.
I would love to take a look at that. Because these are going to be like, these are pretty basic in and of themselves. And when I build them, so I'm going to do a 32 wide building, and that's going to be the big clue of like, once you get down to the large building, don't take anything off of it.
There you go.
But I'm at least going to do some different shapes so that the apartments aren't only at different heights from the next building, but are at different depths. And so it's really going to hopefully get rid of that wall of modules look, because it'll have different configurations and it'll give us more opportunity to look like a real display. Like I'm trying to add vehicles and trees and a little park in front. All this stuff is happening very slowly because I'm incredibly busy and making myself busier. That's what number 6 is about. Surprise show.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Our
S
first.
for
Ooh.
St. Paul. S for St. Paul.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
We'll get there someday.
We
I
definitely
hope.
will. I'm very encouraged. Actually, Ben and I had a quick talk before the show tonight. I'm going to check out the state fairgrounds. S for state fairgrounds.
Yeah, S for State Fairgrounds.
All right, check this out. Realgar says MSP baby.
That's right. Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities.
We'll get there just because Ben wants it so badly, and I love his lug. There's a lot of great people in that lug, and a lot of them are very involved with Brickworld Chicago. Abera says S for Spokane. Oh, I would. Oh my God, Spokane's beautiful. I would love that. Anything over an 8-hour drive. I've really got some more consideration to do.
Yeah, Spokane's quite a ways, and of course they do have something out. Is it Bricks by the Bay?
They have BrickCon in Seattle.
BrickCon in Seattle. Okay.
Bricks by the Bay is in San Francisco, and then isn't there one in LA as well? Bricks LA or something like that.
Yeah.
I should know these things.
Yeah. So they're a little outside of the Midwest, which is where Brickworld mostly is now. But that
Yeah,
doesn't mean that'll be a for everything. Who
I mean,
knows?
when we did Brickworld Kansas City, I rented tablecloths instead of bringing my tablecloths from storage, and I was able to use um, a van instead of a truck, and it had cruise control, and it was awesome. It didn't have as many blind spots as I have in the 15-foot truck, so there was a lot of benefits to it. It's just renting all that stuff too. Hey, Eric Haney's on Facebook tonight. Yay, we got another Facebook watcher. S for Sioux Falls, that's certainly possible. Anything's possible. Brickworld, Ohio. Yes, people have talked to me about Ohio, and we know a lot of people there. Half my staff comes from Ohio. I wouldn't have to pay for transportation and hotel if I did a show there, because half my staff is already there.
There you go. Yeah, lots of places in the Midwest. We just have to, settle on the ones that make sense and have good tie-ins, or good times of the year, or good
100%.
whatever.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, you still have to be strategic. S for strategic.
Mm-hmm.
When you're opening a new show. So
Yeah, and that would be my big question for Spokane and Sioux Falls is what are the local lugs? Do I already have a relationship with them? And there's so many people I don't know offhand if I do or don't. You obviously have a good relationship with the Barris, so you would have to do Spokane so you can go see him.
Yeah.
Have a little reunion.
Yeah, he used to be local, obviously, in Minnesota. Then for a while he lived in Virginia, then Texas, now all the way up in Spokane. So he's been
Yeah.
all over the country.
Yeah.
But the other option is he can always come back for Brickworld Chicago. So
I actually have more to show here, but I'm going to hide this for now and reconfigure a few things. But I'm
okay,
going to be standing right here, so we don't need to take me off camera because I can still talk. But actually, Kelly Mullenix was the one who asked at Brickworld Fort Wayne if there were any resources out there on how to like pack things to bring to shows for transportation, for shipping, as for shipping. And I was like, we started doing some of that. Actually, Supa, who's not, well, it's Supa Hawk showed me the box that he had made. And I was like, oh, I took a course in package design in college. I can apply some of this. I had been meaning to do it for a long time. And when I saw his, I was like, yeah, I think it's time to do this for my MOCs, is make a box that fits each module for what I'm bringing. It just makes it so much easier than like grabbing a bin or a box and getting whatever you can into it and hoping it survives the trip. So I've got one from Chicago this year that I did. Just need to move some of these out of the way. It'll only take me a couple minutes. Ben, you seem to be a master shipper when it comes to shows. I've seen you fit so many things in an SUV. I remember Kansas City. There
yep.
was somebody who requested like 4 tables, didn't show up, and you had enough in your car to fill all 4 of those tables, let alone the like 5 or 6 that you had requested for the show.
Yeah. So for me, I've seen people do it a lot of different ways. So one thing that some people do and do well is they plan for building for a show and they build it modularly so it can come apart easily. The other way to do it is more what I have done, which is I typically take the parts off that are likely to fall off and I put them in a Ziploc or some sort of storage
Yep.
container. And then I do put them in a large bin, usually I don't know what size they are, but one of the really big ones that have built-in wheels that you can buy at Target. They're not cheap. They're $30 or whatever,
The
but they're
bougie.
large bins with
Yeah.
tops and a pair of wheels on one side. And then when I put them in, I kind of tend to do a couple things. First, I put a blanket down at the bottom of the bin, and
Mm-hmm.
then I put them in. I oftentimes also wrap things that are likely to tip or fall in bubble wrap,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of twofold. One, it holds it together so things don't fall off it, and two, it of course pads it for any sort of jostling that may occur.
And
I
the
think
big
the big thing is then I also put in pillows and blankets again to try to fill empty space.
the
Um,
the big thing I found for doing what you're suggesting with the Ziploc bags and the bubble wrap and all that sort of stuff is once you're there and you have it all set up, you hide that stuff and make sure nobody else can touch it, especially if you're doing something collaborative. And we'll get to that with this custom box. But yeah, just making sure that stuff is ready for you to go at the end. Like
yeah,
I learned this year to take my custom boxes and just remove them from the floor. Don't give anybody an opportunity to grab them, because like if you don't have that at the end, you're kind of left your S for S out of luck.
yes. Well, and then okay, so then this year there was one other thing that I had to bring, and that was the big black boat butt.
The big black
And
butt, yeah.
the big black boat butt did not fit in a bin.
You.
It the problem with the back of my SUV is that you can fold all the seats down, but when you fold them down, there's little ridges and lips and things like that in the back. And sliding this giant black boat butt into the car was a challenge. So I came up with a solution. I actually ended up loading the um, big black boat butt into the back of the car myself. And the way I managed to do it is I set the boat butt on top of a door. We happened to have a door from a remodel,
That was
and
crazy.
the door was hanging out the back of my car on a sawhorse, and I got the boat butt onto the table, and I pushed the entire table into the car.
Yeah. And
So
that
that
door
was a
that door
little
was
unique.
sitting on the loading dock
Yeah, that door did
as
not
I was
come back
leaving.
with me from Chicago.
No,
So
it stayed in
I
Chicago.
donated the door to the Renaissance Hotel and
As
Convention Center.
he was showing me that before. Um, as
Yeah,
for shows require strategery, it's true,
yes.
Barrett. Oh, Jesse's on. Jesse's in the Tainted. Welcome, Jesse. You might be having some shows coming up here where we ask you to co-host again, as I'll be out of town for Detroit next week, and maybe another show the second week of December. We'll see.
Yeah, here I've got a couple of pictures to show. Here's the first. This is the trunk or treat trunk.
All right, give me 1 second. We're gonna solo
Look
you
at all
in.
that reflection. There you can see it.
Yeah, totally see it.
So there's Plinko off to the side and the skeleton in there. Look how clear, nice and clean and clear that looks on the camera.
That is pretty cool, actually. That's
The
amazing.
inflatable trunk feeling a little sad down there. The inflatable treasure chest.
Yeah,
There you get some idea of what we were doing. Now let me see if I can find the pirate ship or the big black boat butt in the back of my car. So let me see if I can grab that while we
I
switch
seriously
back
thought you
over
were
to us.
insane. Yeah, when you were telling me that, I'm working on the outro in the meantime. Live streaming, professional live streaming.
It's pretty much what we are.
Yeah. Why? Who said different?
Ooh, probably Supa.
Yes. Oh, so we got some Monica
Oh,
Berry.
Hawkeye Lego Man. Hawkeye Lego Man's probably the one who said it.
No, none of those people are here. It's Hawks. Hawks a Scorpio as well. And
Oh,
so we're supposed to be doing like Scorpio birthdays tonight and celebrating getting the balloons up on the screen every time a Scorpio joins us. Realgar says great job. Monica Berry agrees that it is fun. Jesse's Brick Galaxy says anytime you need an S for sidekick, we got yeah. We should actually
awesome.
we shouldn't use him as a S for substitute for me. We should invite him on the stream sometimes, even when both of us are here.
A little more often. Yeah, why not?
It was a great stream with the two of you. I actually watched the whole thing. Sorry.
S for surprising. Just kidding. So here was the test fit. This was only you can solo me here.
Okay. I'm trying to
the
on the outro.
That's perfect. So you can do that. Here was the test fit. Yeah, let's get that into focus. There we go. It's partially built there. It's not fully complete, but there was the first test fit with the door sliding it in. And then let me get over to the final build here. Then we worked some more on the boat butt, and when I finally got it in, I must have taken one picture of it fully in there. Well, here's what the final picture of the boat butt looked like. So this is what I had to fit in there.
Jeez.
So this was a lot of boat butt to try to get into the back of my car.
Well,
But
this
you
is
saw
also
how I got
why
it in there with that door.
this is also why the Hauger family brought 2 SUVs to Brickworld Chicago this year.
That's true.
We brought
That's
both
true.
kids. Every piece of Lego in your collection, every black piece anyway.
Every black piece for sure. But yeah. And then it was very cathartic for my wife after having the big black boat butt in our living room for like 3 weeks to help me just rip it apart and throw it into a bin to take it home. That's the easy side of shipping, is when you're bringing it back home.
Yeah. So when you get to dump it all back out.
Yes.
And forget about it. Yeah, definitely. So, so this is our shipping discussion by request of a member of the Tainted tonight. Kelly Mullenix asked us for this. I think we should do an episode that's just I'm sorry, a video that's just dedicated to this. So it's not part of the live stream, but it's something that we can like have concisely communicated and put up on the Brickworld site for like, hey, do you need ideas on how to pack your stuff? Because I used to try to stop building when it hit the size of a banker's box. If you guys don't know what a banker's box is, I've got a couple around here, but it's going to take me a second to grab one to show it to you. They're very convenient. They're like they're really sturdy, and when you're not using them, you can fold them down completely. They're fantastic. But building everything I make to that size modules is I'll forget, and like keep going, or like B, something will come up where like this just has to be connected to the next one. So it doesn't always work. If I did more of the smaller Fabuland houses, it'd probably be a little bit easier, but then I always have to add landscaping. Realgar says, my place is nothing but those boxes. Yeah, they're great, and they're a little bit more expensive, but they're reusable and they're so helpful. NELTC, there's a couple guys who use basically just those. Jesse's Bricks Galaxy says how to put junk in a trunk. Yeah, I mean that's one way to look at it for sure. We could use that motto for our demonstration. But for tonight, this is one of the things I did. I just took an Amazon box, and this box used to be this tall, and then here's the flap. So the box actually went up to here, but I cut it down. I cut it down to the level I needed it to be for this module here. And then I scored here because I knew that's what I wanted the height to be. So I took a knife and a straight edge and scored that so I could fold it in easily instead of just trying to like fold it on my own. If you take a knife and you cut the inside of the box, it gives you an extra a spot, like a perforation almost, where you're going to be able to fold it over. So I folded over the tops, flattened out where the flap was, and then taped it together with packing tape. So the box would be this size. When the module's in there, I can tape it shut with just a piece of packing tape back here, and it stays completely together. Now you throw in like blankets or pillowcases or a towel, you said?
Yep.
I have there are none handy. I think I've been organizing down here, and so I think I put them all in the other room, but I have I bought on Amazon a huge package of square foam pieces. So I put that on the bottom because as well as you build something, as well as you pack it, you want it to be able to have some give. That's why Ben uses the towels. And this is one of the problems I think Kelly Mullenix's family had when they went to Brickworld Fort Wayne this year. They had some breakage on the way. If you pack it too tight and you're on a bumpy road or the shocks on your U-Haul aren't great, I've had a creation shake down to like all its individual pieces. Joellen saw me putting it back together at Brickworld Fort Wayne, and she's like, "That's never going to get together this weekend." I got it back together in a couple hours. I was determined. And when she said that, I was like, "Watch me!" But it looked insane because I was just pulling individual pieces. It was that gingerbread pub, Ben.
Yeah.
That thing shook down to the base plate. Luckily, I had pictures of it, and luckily, it was like it was pretty repetitive in its design. But if you don't have something for it to have some give in there, that's another problem you might have. Is that it has nowhere to go with a bump in the road, or even just like the vibration of a truck. So you want it to have something that it can bounce on and absorb some of that pressure. Joellen says, yes, you need a series of transportation shipping videos featuring the various Brickworld displayers and their methods, especially those that travel to multiple shows. Don't forget Dale's truck. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, we'll do some traveling, Ben.
Oh, Dale. Yeah, I mean, I think you've kind of got it here. I mean, part of this is, right, if you left the box, this Amazon box, it's normal height, and there's a lot of negative space, that's sort of running the risk that it'll shift around more than you want it to. But if you pack it in so tight that it can't move at all, pieces will shake off it and fall off it. So you kind of have to find this balance between filling your negative space, but filling it with something that's at least a little pliable. And if you can kind of do those two things, then generally things stay together pretty well. If you don't do those two things, then you might be in for a bad time, kind of depending.
Yeah. So I think on this one, oh, you know what it is? Hard for me to show it now because I didn't take the ends off of it. But then the front of this module, I forgot that there were two things in here. There's another module this long that goes in front of the gate. I slide that in here, and then this closes back up.
Yep.
Over
so
it.
You got the two of them right next to each other.
That's
There's
perfect.
not a lot of empty space for things to move around a bunch.
And again, they would
kind of
be
stay tight to each other.
Yeah.
and then they don't really lose as many pieces.
They'd be
So
on a block of foam, which is why I have this height left over here too, because I need to leave room for the foam. What I'd like to be able to do is line them with foam so the foam actually stays in there. The other thing that's really important with this stuff, if this box doesn't need it because it's kind of being reinforced because I have so much cardboard here. If you cut off another piece from another box and then put them in the corners. So you take something that's about this height, 4 inches wide, and then fold it down the length. So it's like 2-inch flaps. You fold it in half, and then tape that in the back corners. So it gives you another piece of sturdiness for like when you're putting other boxes on top of this, it stops it from like sagging in and crushing what you may have down here too. So that's always one of the more important parts is where this sits in the truck, or in your trunk or in your SUV. Or even sometimes in the cart that you're bringing it into the haul with. Monica Berry says she uses cling wrap, shelf liner, bubble wrap, and other random bits of packing material. Yeah, I have a garbage bag, filled with all that crap that comes in the when you get Lego shipped or anything. A lot of stuff from Amazon has that stuff too, like the Air Pack or whatever it's called.
Yep.
I keep that stuff. That comes in real handy because it's not so thick that it's going to wedge everything in there so it doesn't have room to move, but it's malleable enough that you can get it around stuff and give you an extra layer of protection. And yeah, it's so much more economical because we get so much stuff shipped to us and they put so much extra crap in it. I even save when they just use the butcher paper and just kind of crinkle it up. I save that too because that comes in handy sometimes. You can just roll it up and put it on the edge of a bin so that stuff doesn't it gives it less room to slide around. Sometimes that's enough.
Yeah, the only thing I would tell you to not do is don't use packing peanuts. You would get one of these.
Yes.
Those are the worst.
It's they don't help, and then they're in everything.
Yep. Little bits of it sticks to everything. Oh, it's just not a good time.
The first time I shipped stuff when I first moved, Monica mentions Moto is another good one to interview for traveling with mock packing tips. For shipping, Eric Haney says saran wrap or cling wrap can help. Thank you for verifying that, because I meant to say when Monica Berry mentioned it, that stuff is relatively inexpensive compared to other stuff, and you get entire rolls of it from Home Depot. That shrink wrap stuff, and yeah, to me, I try not to use it just because it feels a little bit wasteful to keep using that much plastic. But that's like the carbon footprint hippie in me. Trying not to use too much plastic and trying to use something that's not reusable, but it helps. That's how Tim Lighty does all his stuff. Scott Thompson with Mishlug, he has a ton of huge skyscrapers. He'd be a great one to do a video of, and I have an opportunity coming up here to do a video of how he packs and unpacks for Detroit. They all go in specific boxes, and he's got them labeled for like what section of what building it is. And then he puts them on rolling carts like I have behind me, these stainless steel rolling carts. And then he bungee cords and shrink wraps everything together so it doesn't move. And he has like the perfect spacing in his trailer for all of the rolling carts that he has, and his entire display fits on that. It gets really elaborate when you're bringing that much stuff, but it's so organized. There's no other way it could be done than the way that he does. His specific layout could be done, but it's so cool and inspiring to watch. I want to do that with the Brickworld logistics stuff. I want rolling carts like this that I could fit all those stupid bins on. But I switched over to Milwaukee Packouts, and that's a story for a different day. Joellen says that she uses a lot of the Lego DACTA, the education bins for things like vehicles, trees, etc. They stack really well and don't collapse. I have a bunch of, from when I worked at Legoland, I got a bunch of those, like the Lego distributing tubs, the plastic ones. I have a bunch of those. They've become more used for sorting recently because I've needed some extra space and they were empty. But yeah, those are great because, like, and this is a good S for segue to our next S, which is sorting and storage. I use a lot of those container store shoe boxes. And that's everything you see behind me is those container store shoe boxes. And they fit well on the bottom of those Lego distributor bins. And then I could put another creation on top of it. And I can usually do like a 2 base plate wide because those things are so long. It's really helpful to have access to those. So I apologize. It's something that not everybody has access to, but anything that you find that has like a good consistent use, like keep as many of them as you can. So the box that I did the gate in, this box here you see down there, that's the box that the cases of Zevia come in.
Oh, well, there you go.
I have a lot of those.
Yeah, and I was going to mention when you said that, when I put my large bins in the back of my SUV, I usually put a MOC on top of the bins as well. Sometimes I can't fit the top on, but if I can fit the top of the bin on, the one issue with that is that it's slick enough, the coefficient of friction is low enough that if you put a MOC on it, it'll slide around. So I always put a blanket on top of it, put the MOC on, then it doesn't slide. So
that's
another thing to know.
That's the other bit of advice I have is if you've made your own boxes or you've been using certain boxes and they're getting worn down, when you put it in the car and you're like, oh, this may be the last trip. No. The last trip was the last trip for that box. Replace that box before you go. It's worth the time to find a new box for it because that is the box that will fall every time. Guaranteed.
Or the one that's worn down enough that it'll slide around. You know, just be careful. Okay, so we called this segment the struggle. Struggle is real.
It was real
for sorting.
So it certainly is. Hey, should we create a poll and ask people if they sort by color or piece size or
both?
I think I have to do that directly through YouTube. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting topic. You can see behind me, clearly I have some things sorted by part.
Yep.
Or use, but that certainly isn't everything.
You can see behind me that I'm nuts and I do size and color. Now, so something like lavender that doesn't have a lot of parts yet, I just throw all in one tub. But I mean, I've got like yellow plates. Yeah, this keeps going. It goes all the way around the room. Dark gray round. Now, don't ask me why I have so many of these, but dark gray. This is all dark gray brick. So it's like it just depends on. I get these from the Container Store, by the way. It is the only affordable thing at the Container Store is their own brand of stuff because they're not putting a bunch of markups on other. Everything there is so expensive because they're carrying other brands and they mark it up like crazy. Their brand stuff is pretty inexpensive and it comes in several different sizes, but the 3 I use are the shoe box, the sweater box, and the accessory box. So this is the sweater box. And I might be wrong. This might be the boot box. I think it's the sweater box. I should check that. And then this is the accessory box. That's definitely what this one is called. So this is all dark gray, 1x1, 1x2, 1x3, and 2x2 plates because those are the pieces. Those are the pieces in any color I use the most. Does that surprise you?
No.
Okay.
1x1, 1x2. That's what I use the most for sure.
Okay.
And then snot bricks, it's snot brick and headlight brick. It's use a lot of those and brackets. But you know, it's sort of a mix for me. So I'm sorted by part for things that I use commonly or for Technic parts I use commonly. That's mostly what you see behind me here. And then I am largely by color, but the color is broken down into plates, into bricks, into tiles, and into random parts that don't really fit either. But there are certain things, like here, for example, pull this up. There are certain things like these are all snot bricks. They're all kinds of different sizes and shapes.
Yes. Yeah. So you know what? You know what's funny? I do that only with new molds. I don't know where to put them yet. I don't know where they're going to fit in my current sorting system. So when something like the 1x1 round with Apollo stud comes out, I put those all in the same place until I have enough to start sorting them out by color. And then I typically find something where it's like dark orange hollow studs drawer. God, it's this whole conversation is making me anxious.
So this is single wide light bluish gray
Okay,
plates. They're
nice.
not double wide. They're all
Right.
single wide. Though I
Well,
kind of, have to try to make an exception. Like, what's
yeah,
this?
that's what I was gonna say. I like your
Or what's
interpretation
this?
of that. Yeah, but it's single wide, and so
Or
now
what's
you
this?
know. As long as you're consistent, you can find
Right.
it. Joellen Child says that Mike has been using the Milwaukee Packout stuff for years. Of course he has. Love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've discovered Milwaukee Packouts, and I will never go back. The, don't
Since
don't do it.
you
The,
summoned them.
oh, the
Apollo
Apollo
studs.
studs, and those are what, like black and light gray. Black.
Light gray. These are dark green. I must have got a bunch of
Oh,
them in botanical sets.
yeah, Milwaukee Packout. I think actually would work if you have a consistent. If I think you could probably use it for displays because they have like the cooler thing at the bottom. I call it a cooler because it's what it reminds me of. It's not really a tool chest. Um, but then they have different modules that fit on top of that are like I get the ones with drawers, and the drawers have dividers. Like it would be the perfect thing if you got like a really large layout that you have a bunch of those excess things, Ben, that you were talking about that fall off. Like
Mhm.
I showed you with this earlier, where it's with the like where you have the trees and the lampposts and all that sort of stuff could fit in those individual things. They are very expensive, but they are worth it if you can afford it because they will last forever. Rialgar says he sorts chaotically. Ooh, best of luck to you, my friend. I can't do that. um,
Yeah.
yeah, but everyone has their way. There's no wrong way, right?
Well, and I also think at some point when your collection's large enough,
Yeah,
you are trying to do everything by type, you get to a
yeah,
point where there's diminishing returns.
yeah.
And Mark and I have both sort of admitted even when we do it by color, there's also breakdown in the color there. Like I have single wide plates for light bluish
Oh,
gray, but
yeah.
if I'm using tan, I might have all plates in one bin because I just don't have enough to break it down that way.
I
But parts I use a lot of, 1x2s in particular, and single wide plates in other colors that I don't use frequently are just in one bin.
Yeah. I love that we're getting comments in on this because I find it fascinating how everybody sorts differently. It's like there's no one way to do it, of course, but I like hearing how other people do it.
Yeah.
Monica
Grab
Berry
this one.
does type first, and that's how most of the people when I worked at Legoland, most of the other AFOLs in the shop, when I would see their collections, they would not only sort their home collection like that, but they would sort their their workstations like that. What are you showing us there, Ben?
Well, this is just all single wide sort of filler.
Oh,
They're in
I've
colors I don't use a ton,
yeah.
but they're
I've
all single wide plates.
I've got so much brick around here, and again, it's like I'm not bragging. This just happens with the business that I'm in. Um, the that when I need single wide plates, I have a bin of single wide plates, and then I'll go through and I'm doing like the filler stuff, and I'm like, oh wait, this is a color I might actually use these in. So it kind of creates a different sort of headache, where I'm like
Yeah.
inadvertently sorting when I didn't necessarily mean to. I'm like, I'm trying to build, but I'm also going to pull out all the dark blue single wide plates from this because I don't want them to just go in as filler in case I need them for the sci-fi city that I'm building. Monica also says little one by ones get sorted by type and then colors. I would 100% do that as well, just because they're so hard to find. Like you may dig through something that's all the same color and never find the color you're looking for, even though there may be 50 of them in there. So with one by ones, I can see why you would split it from there. But I mean, I just couldn't. When I would see people's desks or their home collections sorted by part first or part only, ugh, I I just maybe
That's a
it's
lot.
for me. I just like I it takes a long time to find if you have like a ton of a certain piece. Yeah, and they would like, at least like part those out into like separate drawers or whatever. For me, it's like the one color I would need would be in the drawer that I wasn't looking in. Lego Team B asks, do you recommend the silver shelves you have there for the tubs? Well, that's a loaded question, isn't it? Because I did prefer, I installed shelving down here that was the perfect height for every one of these bins, the perfect length. Because installing shelves is less expensive than most other systems, and then you could set the height for them. And as long as if you don't know how to do it, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there about like how to find the stud in your wall, how to level things, how to space things apart. And maybe there'll be a bit of a learning curve for you, but it's 100% worth it. I recommend these if you're working in a basement that might flood. That is the only reason I have these. They are fantastic. I do like them. The one thing I like better than having shelves installed directly into the wall is that I can move these around. If I need more space in here, I can reconfigure. I can roll these out of the room. I've got 2 other rooms down here. And so if I need extra space in here, I can get these things out of here. So that's great, so it doesn't take up that space in that way. To me, it makes the room seem smaller because you do have all these like new units in here. It's probably not technically true. It just seems like it to me. But these are the ones here. These are the ones I recommend getting. I've got I was cleaning earlier. A bunch of garbage. And then this is all my live stream stuff that we don't use anymore. There, in case you can't tell from the video, there are these. Oh, the dog got scared. She's leaving. Bye, sweetie. Oh, wait, nope, she came back. So the stainless steel posts, and then you put these put the black catches on them, and then you bring these down, so you can adjust the heights of these as well. So this is the height I set for the shoe boxes. I have a different height for the sweater boxes and a different height for the accessory boxes. They're great for that because you're not wasting too much space. And that's what I don't like about a lot of the other shelving systems that are out there is you don't have the options to create different heights. So you get stuck with a lot of wasted space, like the big plastic ones that they have at like most Menards, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever you have in your area. I do recommend these because they're sturdy as hell and they're modular. They're adjustable. Oh my God. Let me go back to there easily. I don't know what I ran over. Baby, what was that? Did I break a piece? Something went flying across the room. Monica says she likes using Iris and Acro Mills drawers. So if you're interested in that, you guys can Google those. I don't know what they are. Actually, I would like to Google them. Maybe we can do some demonstration. Iris drawers. Getting a little behind in the comments, so I want to. Oh, those. Yes. I use some of. You can see in the back corner here. I have some of the stuff like you do, Ben.
Yep.
I think that. Oh, Acro Mills. Those are fantastic. Hold on, I'll share those in a bit. I want to get through some of these comments first. Jesse says, I sort like that too. Depends on quantity sometimes. Again, we're a little far behind. So I'm assuming that what Monica Berry was describing with like part first, then color if it gets too big, and then with smaller ones by part and color by the 1x1 size pieces. Lego Team B says consistency is key. Whatever your system, stick with it or you're sunk. I have trouble staying consistent. So I need labels on these things. I need to move to that point, or at least a spreadsheet that says this is how you've organized it. These are the pieces that you've decided are similar. Like Ben, like you have the 1x plates and are the trapdoors and the rounds because they're 1x. Yep. I'll forget that that's the way I did it.
Always a surprise. You're like, oh, And some parts like Greeble, parts that I consider Greeble parts, they're all in a bin. I have no idea how many I have.
But no other Lego fan would know. Well, maybe some would. Maybe there's sci-fi builders that out there like, oh, this is what he did.
Yeah, it's just, oh, there's my Greeble bin, And again, there are some colors where I have it more parts than others. Surprisingly, I have probably a lot of people who are sort by color don't have 6 tubs of orange, but I do.
Right.
A lot of people probably just have 1 bin of orange crap,
I have 3, but again, I have a lot of crap. Joellen Child says she hates the things, and I agree with this 100%, that say the best way to store Lego, because it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Exactly. People need to store according to how they build, right? And their own organizational needs, right? What's the clutterbug.com? Anybody know what I'm talking about? I'm a butterfly. Anybody go to Clutterbug? It describes to you the way that you need to organize based on like your personality. Like you take this quiz. Butterfly means that everything needs to be out and visible. So I can't put things behind closed doors. And this is true with my clothing. If I put it in a drawer, I'll never find it again. The only thing I find in drawers is underwear and socks, because that's where they go. When it comes to shirts and jeans, I look at the bathroom floor first.
Oh, okay.
Or in the clean laundry basket, like, and when I fold clothes, I pretty much leave them on top of the dresser. And I have 2 dressers. and I don't really change clothes often. I don't have a lot of different types of clothes. Like those cargo shorts I wear. If you guys have done the shows, you guys know what I'm talking about. I just have several pairs of those. I'm like freaking Lisa Simpson with the same the same dress in her closet.
Mm-hmm.
Joel and Child, you got a here from Lego Team B. Monica Berry says, I used to sort by color, but then I did Boone's online summer camp. Oh, nice. And realized how much harder it was to find stuff. Interesting. I
Yeah. Well,
is that
it's true. I mean, if you're looking for an orange modified 1x1 with clip, it's a lot
yeah.
easier to find that in a entire bin of 1x1 clips than it is to search through the orange bin to find that piece.
There's
No
also,
doubt.
I find it easier to find it in the drawer of orange 1x1 clips.
Well, there you go. See, you can't
Yeah.
even fight that, right?
Right. I do it by modified plate when I've got a color like that I don't have a ton of.
Yeah. But for me, I would
Yeah.
have it's potential that I would have that particular part sorted by type,
Yeah.
but there are a number of other ones that
Yeah.
I don't. There's some colors where I just,
It's
dark purple is in its own bin. It's just
again,
dark purple in there.
it's personality, and then it's also just like uh it's just dependent on the way that you build. It's like your preference and like how it fits in with the way that you build. And you need to find orange faster. It's probably one of the better organized colors in your collection.
It
Right?
is.
Your buddy Hawkeye Lego Man is here. He's still working on a system, but he's got his unique colors in their own thing. Separate them to categories. Also uses unique molds separate. It's pretty par for the course. Like I started that way too, and I just got to the point. And again, I'm lucky because I have room down here. There's all the Brickworld offices, so I can just line them with these things and keep the stuff instead of just being like throwing everything in storage that I don't have the time to store it. I know it sounds like a like a really good problem to have. I'm never going to use all this stuff, and I've got to figure out something to do with it for the shows.
Yeah.
And get it in there because it just keeps coming. Lego Team B says, Ari, the shelves, cheers. Thanks for the run through. You're very welcome. I would get one and see if you like it because you'll use it somewhere. The ones that weren't on casters, I moved to the garage and it made the garage a whole new world. I have them in some of these closets too down here to make storage easier, and it's just so nice because you can actually reconfigure them too. They're not stuck that way once you put them together. You can reconfigure them whenever you want. Hawkeye Lego Man says, I bought a bunch of Plano compartment organizers. I've used those and filled a freestanding shelving unit. Works perfectly. Let me pull some of these up so everybody can get an idea if they want to go check them out.
Well, while you're pulling that up, I can show everybody my chaos down here. Look at this
You
chaos.
do.
Here it is. So this is on the other side of me here.
That does not look chaotic at all. That looks
it's a little chaotic.
Who's
but you can see. Yeah, you can see that I got the shelves over here.
Oh, your other nerds are showing.
With the stock bins.
Yeah.
And then this shelf over here is on casters, so it can get pulled away from the wall, and I can get to the shelf way back over there.
Oh, cool.
Back over there.
Oh, God.
And you can see a red bin down in there. This one that's on casters has a bunch of white on it. What always ends up happening, though, is I always end up with a whole bunch of junk piled in front of the one that's on casters. So then I hardly ever get to the stuff in the back. But it's the stuff I don't use as much, so it kind of stays back there. But there's my chaos over there.
That's very cool. The Plano outdoor site is down, but I found the Plano storage site. Let's see. Oops, I'm sorry, bud.
I'm trying to remove it. You're trying to remove it. We're all trying to remove it.
Right. Joanne says we also have a basement that has flooded, and we found a closet shelving system that hangs on the wall from a rail. And it's 1.5 feet up from the floor. I know I got everything 6 inches off the floor, and I feel like it's not enough. So at least when I had the shelves installed in the wall, they were about 1.5 feet off the floor, just in case anything happened. But then the problem was we had to remove all the drywall. We had to remove all the drywall in the basement. So I had to pull all those down. And I'm like, I'm not putting them back up. A buddy of mine owns a demolition company, and he came in here and did all the work for us. Really good friend. And he's like, you really know how to install shelves. I'm like, That means a lot to me, but I'll never do it again. I will never do it again, unfortunately. Do you know the name of that system, Joel? And if you have a link, drop it in the chat. I'll share it with everybody. This went a lot more in depth than I thought it would. Jesse's Brick Galaxy says it's all the modified parts, sort by type, mixed colors. And again, I started doing that as well, where I was trying to do like clips, bars, hinges, and now I just do one bin. It's there, but it's under some other stuff. For dark gray and light gray modified plates. So I design a lot by color. Like color is real important to me. So I want to be able to find what I need in the colors I want faster. But again, I have the time and the space because I do this for a living, basically. And I've got the space because I can dedicate it to this. I can write this entire basement off because I'm using it as the offices. So I hate talking about this sometimes because I've got a lot less problems than most people, I would say. So I do apologize if this seems that I'm like throwing my collection in your face because I'm not intending to. Hawkeye Logoman says it helps when you work as a morning stocker at Menards and you get to see different ways to organize your collection, and you can buy something before it goes on the shelf.
And you can just straight up buy the shelves. I mean,
100%. When that store goes out of business, make sure you get those shelves.
Yeah.
Monica Berry says, I know what you're talking about with Clutterbug, but I haven't tried it yet. Try it out. Oh my gosh, I'm going to put this up because it like, for me, it was just like, I always felt like I was a slob and like not fixable. Like there was something wrong with me because I couldn't but like going through it, it's just like, it's so empathetic towards people are different and people need different things. And then it tells you, and then you can like pay for like classes to like take and how to organize for your Clutterbug setting or whatever. But there's also free resources out there of people who have gone through it and like understand like how to do it. It's also relatively clear. And I would say that that's unfair to the woman who does the Clutterbug thing because she does have organization and tips when you're done with it that are free. So we'll share that in a second. Hawkeye, Joellen says at Hawkeye Lego Man, I love Play-Doh boxes. Wow, slow down, Mark. Hawkeye says I'm very limited on space. So once I move my room, I'll be able to do more sorting. Excellent. Lego Team B says, in the age-old Pick-a-Brick cup sorting system. Yeah, we saw that in your room, Ben.
Yeah, I've got a few things that are still in Pick-a-Brick cups. Usually, that is stuff that needs to be sorted still.
They're discontinuing it. They're going to boxes.
Okay.
Because
that might not be so bad.
Easier to recycle. Yeah. I'm excited about that because these cups are nightmares.
They are. I have so many. I've given so many away. I still have a ridiculous number of them, but they are usually holding parts temporarily that will be put back where they actually belong at some point. There's some of these are filled and they've been temporarily filled for years.
Yeah.
But they're still temporarily filled.
Like I want to build a partition out of mine just because I could. I have enough.
Yeah, like I have this. These are orange. These are the cheese slopes that are double-sided. I got these off a Pick-a-Brick wall. I have no idea if I will ever use these. I have 2/3 of a cup full of them, and I just haven't dumped them in anywhere because I don't have this particular part yet.
Yeah.
Established anywhere. They might just end up in the orange thing, but this is temporarily where they are until I know where they should
100%
go.
do the same. I still have a Pick-a-Brick cup that just has purple 1x1 plate in it because that's what I used as filler for whatever else I was getting. Purple 1x1 round plate, the dark purple, not purple like Monica Berry and I love, but dark purple. And I don't know what I'll ever do with those, but they sit in a Pick-a-Brick cup still. So I love this comment from Realgar because it's blocking yourself in is a struggle. But I read it at first as blocking yourself as a struggle, and I was like, "What? What does that mean? How do you block yourself?" Assuming that we're thinking outside the blocks type of blocks. Monica Berry says this went more in depth than I thought it would be. That's a quote for me. Really? You know about the birth of Sort Lug, right? I don't. Ben, do you?
Sort Lug sounds like a fun lug, but I'm not in it.
I don't know that it sounds like fun. Sounds like a support group. Look who's here. Sean from ACOB is here. I'm wearing a shirt, and he says, first of all, he says, welcome to Buttland.
Right? And then he says,
nice shirt. Oh, hey.
Fantastic t-shirt.
That's right. You missed the beginning of the live stream where I explained that it hadn't actually shrunk. I had kind of grown. And so it fits again. So it's on. I was feeling kind of cute. So I was like, I think I got fat, and I think that's why I didn't. I think that's why it wasn't fitting. So it did not, as for shrink in the wash. I just swelled up in the wrong areas.
Yeah.
Jesse says all my transparent bricks are in pick-a-brick cups. That sounds beautiful. Get some lighting underneath that. That might look really cool. That's kind of a cool room decoration idea.
Yeah.
Joel and Child says the closest shelving we used was Dakota Closet System from Menards. They can stand on the floor or hang on the wall. That's very cool. I'll look that up. Lego Team B says hello to Sean. I should look at these real quick before I put them up. Hawkeye says I also bought 20 of those pick-a-brick cups to go with my pre-existing 4. I hang
What's
them on
wrong
my
with you?
door with a
shoe organizer. It's
Oh,
fun.
that's smart.
Yeah.
I love that how you're like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I had to get 20 of those. Hawkeye Lego Man.
Hey, why didn't you buy
I will
it,
sell you.
I would say
I will sell you 100 pick-a-brick cups for $4.
I was literally just talking about building a wall out of them only because I could. Love you, Alex. Monica Berry says Tom Alphin did a talk at BrickCon 2020, and the conversation continued and became Sort Lug. Still sorting 3 years later. Is it honestly like a support group where like people get together on Zoom and sort together? We do have a title that says Sort Lug equals Support Lug. Ah, okay, good to know. What was the last? It was Dakota Shelving System. We're gonna go through all these when we go through our sponsors. Which I'm glad you're here, Sean, because you're one of our sponsors. Surprise! I don't know if you knew it. The Realgar says clarification. Blocking yourself in, for example, being unable to reach your shelving organization system because other things have stacked in front of them, thus defeating. Oh, I knew what you meant. I definitely knew what you meant, because when it comes to like sorting stuff out, and I'm like working on a project, I've got all the stuff that's ready to sort next to my sorting table, but then I have 2 shelves with Lego bricks on them next to it. And so when I have everything stacked up in front of it and I'm trying to work on a project, I'm like, where am I even going to put the sorting stuff to get to these other bricks? I'm like, I'll just look for them I'll just go dig through a bin of unsorted stuff to try to find them, because it's going to take too long for me to move the stuff and I have nowhere to move it. Yeah. Believe it or not, I get blocked in down here. Monica Berry says we meet via Zoom every Friday night, Saturday morning for 12 to 14 hour calls. That I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like slightly excited about it, but I also feel like anxious about that. That's a lot.
That's terrifying.
It's a lot. But great. I mean, it sounds like it's something I would love to be involved in if I had the time, because it sounds like accountability. It sounds like if you want to go to the gym, you need to get a trainer, because you wouldn't go by yourself, sort of thing. You don't sort without support lug. Hawkeye Lego Man says, I don't remember how much I spent on them. That's fine. That's okay. We weren't asking prices. You're all good, man. I am. He's talking about the pick-a-brick cups.
Right.
And it does surprise me that he literally bought them instead of just going and getting pick-a-brick from Lego store, which is expensive. I understand that. Eric Haynes says, just moved. Now I have a permanent place to set my Lego room up. Geez, found stuff I totally forgot. The struggle to organize is a real thing. Yeah.
Struggle is real. That's why we called it The Struggle is Real.
Are meant to be. That's why they're 12 to 14 hours. That makes sense. That's kind of what I thought. But thank you for clarifying. Hawkeye Lego Man says, I'm in that group, but never attend the calls. So back to what Eric Haney said about like finding things. When I go to the Brickworld Expos, my favorite vendor is Lost in a Vacuum, because he sorts by part and color. And so when I'm looking for specific things, I go and grab them, and he always gives me a bag because I always got like a ton of stuff on him, always in a hurry, but they're black bags. And so I will find them 4 or 5 months later. Like, what is this black bag sitting in the corner? And I'm like, oh, there are all these beautiful parts I bought from Chuck. I forgot about because they're in a black bag. See, I need to see everything needs to be out, and I need to see it because I'm a butterfly. Mm-hmm. Monica Berry says any Friday night, 7 Central or later. ACAP says, what are we sponsoring? You're sponsoring us. We're just kind of shouting you out. Let's get to that, actually. Where
S is for sponsor.
S is for sponsor. Oh, I haven't done it yet. Let's see. Present. Share screen. I'm doing that thing, Ben, where I forgot to add it to.
Here it is.
Hey, there we are. So let's talk about our sponsors tonight, even those who are in the tainted and did not know that they were sponsoring us. Hey, Ben, can you solo that?
Dakota Closets. That's what we're on right now.
I know.
All right.
But I don't know why. Yeah, thank you. Oh,
Gotcha.
it's full screen when it's not a camera. Okay. I'm learning. Shut up, you. So let's start with Bricker Builds. If you don't know what Bricker Builds is, go check them out. They're on social media. They have their own site, brickerbuilds.com. They build amazing things like you're seeing here. They're sponsoring our Brickworld Detroit show, maybe our secret show, but they are always a huge sponsor of Brickworld Chicago. Good friends of ours, and definitely very active in social media arena. So go have fun with them. If you can't afford their stuff, they're still fun to watch the videos and the stuff that they do. They really interact with the crowd well. They do some cool stuff. It is rather high priced, just to warn you. But they're amazing designs. They've got a great team working there. A lot of fun. A couple of brickheads. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central. Check them out. They're always talking about something fun. You can see some of their recent topics here. Best Lego Halloween sets ever was the topic last week. And if you're a Star Wars fan, you're definitely going to get your. It's going to be time well spent. I'm wearing the very cool ACOB shirt here. They're always encouraging us, Ben, to get some merchandise for our stream. They're suggesting Buttland merchandise, but I've got quite a few things that I would like to have think outside the blocks merchandise. I've got some illustration ideas, mostly doing with otters. So Iris drawers. So this is something you can find at. It looks like they have them on Amazon as well. This is what Monica Berry was talking about. Or was it Joellen? I'm sorry, I'm mixing my people up. Acro Mills, this is not what I thought. I thought it was these. I was like, dang, girl, you got money. Acro Mills are these. I have one huge complaint about the Acro Mills. Oh, they are these. These are fantastic. So these toolboxes, they used to be made in like hard, transparent plastic, and now they're in like the softer plastic that's semi-transparent, and that drives me up the wall. I would probably do all my storage in these types of things. Again, they're really expensive. This system here, the louvered panels that you can hang these things in, I wish I was made out of Acro Mills louvered panel storage money, but I'm not. But they are incredibly effective. This is what we used at Legoland. And I miss those a lot. These are the Plano storage that Alex Neer was talking about. I'm sorry, Hawkeye Lego Man was talking about. This is not. Here we go. I was like, where are they? They're like tackle boxes, basically. I think that's what you were talking about. And then here's the Clutterbug. Go to clutterbug.me. And you can take the Clutterbug quiz, find out what sort of Clutterbug you are, and you'll get advice on how you need to organize things. I found it really helpful. Look at how happy and willing to help she is. Take the Clutterbug quiz here. And then Dakota Closet Systems that Joellen was talking about. Hang off the floor. Yes. Excellent. They are also available on Amazon, I think. You don't want to buy them through Container Store because Container Store is really expensive. But yeah, that's everything we talked about, including our sponsors during that discussion. I have a feeling that we're still discussing it down here because I see the comments coming in fast and furious. What do we got? Realgar says, yeah, Bricks O'Brien. Ben.
I got nothing.
8 p.m. Central Thursdays conflict with Lego Masters. Like, do you watch live TV? Who are you?
Ever heard of a DVR?
Right.
Or on demand?
Replay Gang. Monica Berry, the Acro Mills I use are black with clear little drawers. Yep. I'm sure I got a few of those back there. I stopped using those because they were really hard for me to keep moving, and I moved several times since I moved back to Chicago. And so it just got harder and harder for me to actually put everything back together. And again, I used to install them in the wall. I used to screw them to the wall so they were easier to stack up, and I could fill a whole wall with them. But I don't want to install it. Even that'd be a lot easier to remove if we had to remove the drywall, but I don't want to install anything in the wall ever again in my life. I mean, I'll hang a TV from the wall and like other stuff, but for the most part, I don't want a ton of stuff on the wall. Monica Berry says they go well with the Iris drawers. Good to know. Hawkeye Lego Man says we have some of those colored bins at Menards too. Yeah. I have seen those there. It's a different system, but I mean they're the same sort of effectiveness. They are open, and that's the thing is the bricks will always sit out, so you have to go in there with a one of those rechargeable blowers that are replacing canned air
Yeah.
and dust out of there. Plano stuff I use is ProLat Stowaway, not the tackle boxes. Yeah, I was having trouble finding one of the sites was down. No, it was Alex Near's site that was down. So I just was on the wrong product. Sorry, Joellen.
We
Dividers
use
go all the way
these
to the top. Yes.
quite a bit.
Are those?
This is probably similar to the Plano ones, but these are like jewelry, bead making,
Yeah.
jewelry things. But you
Looks
can
like.
see these are light bluish gray greebles.
Yep.
So parts I use a lot of make it to these.
Alex and Joellen
But
agree. Yeah. I do that with minifig parts.
yeah.
So I
Yeah,
can
I
limit.
do have a couple of big ones that have minifig parts in them. They might be Plano actually.
It's so weird how many things we've mentioned that I'm like, oh yeah, I also do that. It's like I
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah,
Hey,
my was
we're
these
on
contain.
fire today, so everyone should probably do this. Just a
Yes.
reminder. Help us with that algorithm.
I thought I was doing great, and I didn't think I was going to need to do this, but I need a bathroom break. I'm sorry.
Shocker.
I know.
Shocker. That's
I'm
okay. You can go. You can
Thank
go.
you. I appreciate it. Thank you for allowing
Um
me to go to the bathroom.
yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so on my sorting wall back here, right? If we wanted to explore this one. So this is sort of like the Acro Mills type stuff that's hung up. You can see I've got tiles that I use a lot of for like castles. So they're dark bluish gray and light bluish gray. And then I have all of the Technic beam lengths sorted by size, not color. And then a bunch of Technic parts that I use a lot of. There's another bin up a little higher that's got all kinds of Technic pins in it. And then these little shelves here are all Technic bricks of the various sizes. So here's 1x4, 1x6, 1x8, etc., etc. So, I do a lot of stuff down here. These are all ball joints, things of that nature. So there are things that I use a lot of that make it to these specialized drawers, but then things that I just have a lot of that I don't use much usually end up by color if I don't use that color a lot. So I think, hybrid would be the way to describe my system. And that sounds like it's probably the way a lot of people would describe their system. You can't just do one thing, you have to do what works for you. And that usually isn't just, one thing. It sounds like some of you guys are far more disciplined, but even there are variations with that. Is it all modified plates or is it a specific part? I can't even imagine how many bins you would need if you really intended to put just one part type in a bin. How many molds does Lego make? Um, plus all the sub variations. I'm sure Bricklink could tell you. I'm sure it's some, crazy number that I don't even want to know. So, that's sorting for you. It's just kind of the way it goes. And for me too, when I part out sets, that I struggle with because what I often end up doing is taking out a couple of different bins that I sort. I usually get the sets for a particular colorway or part or several parts, usually not just one part, because that ends up just being, a black hole of money pitness to do it that way. But I end up sorting the parts out that I need, and then the parts that I'm not looking for at the moment, I'll end up in one bin and have to, be sorted much later into the appropriate locations. So breaking out the sets and sorting the sets really becomes almost a 2 or 3 stage process where I get the parts I need, then I maybe take out the minifigs, then all the other parts end up in one spot for, weeks until I can actually break those out and sort them. So, nothing's ever clean and easy in Legoland here. It's just the way it goes.
Ever.
So,
Agreed. Oh,
but
hey,
yeah.
we've got some Clutterbug results here. So Monica Berry just took, and she's also a butterfly.
Ooh.
Welcome, my friend. It's a great way to live. We're working on rearranging my closet, and we're gonna get rid of the dressers in my room because I literally don't know what clothes I have. And
Yeah.
Joanna looks like she took it
Joan's
as
a bee.
well. She's a bee.
Hmm.
Cool stuff, though, right?
Are they all bugs, hence the name Clutter Bug?
Yes, Ben.
Okay, that makes sense. So I'm not gonna be a slug or a snail, I'm gonna be something else.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Some other lazy insect, I don't know.
Why?
If I buy too much more Lego, I'm gonna be a praying mantis because my wife's gonna take my head, and
Why would you assume that you'd be a lazy bug?
'cause I don't like sorting and everything. If it's just by color, and I know this is more general, it's not specific to Lego,
Yeah.
but if it's just by color, they're like, "Man, you're lazy. You're not getting the most out of your sorting."
Okay. The tainted. Raise your hand if you like sorting.
I bet
There's
some
some
people
people.
find it cathartic. There's probably a few
Sure.
weirdos out there.
Sure. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely some psychopaths out there. I'm sure of it. Um, yes, yes. Okay, good. Yes. Not, I tested not ADHD, but I did need to take the test in my 40s. There are other reasons that I have trouble concentrating, but the one thing I like about sorting is it gives me new building ideas because I have parts in my hand. I start putting things together sometime, then I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I'll set it off to the side and I'll knock it off my desk 50 times before I do anything with it. But it
Yeah.
is kind of a way to like kind of unlock creativity because your mind is a little bit number to the like you're not problem solving anything. You're just like sorting stuff out. And so I come up with ideas. It is a necessary evil. I agree with you, Yalgar.
Hmm.
And Monica finds it kind of zen. I do see
At
that where
least she.
when you
I
set
mean, to be clear, she said to start.
yes.
Well, actually, she says, I do find it kind of zen to sort. I
Yes.
think it's only fun to
Totally.
start sorting. I don't think it's fun to finish sorting.
So you
Like,
just like the first 10 seconds. Did
yeah, like when I start
it.
doing it,
I'm
I'm
done.
like, okay, but then I get to a part or a set of parts that I don't have the bin out for, or I don't know where it is, right? So I got to try to
Yeah.
find the bin, and then
Yes.
then it's just like I'm done. I'll do it later. Let's shove it all in one bin. And I'm like, well, now I'm out of bins, so I have to go buy 6 more bins. It is what it is, right?
Yeah. Oh, what does this even say? Hawkeye Lego Man says what? Oh, he raised his hand. He likes it. All right. Good for
I
you,
knew
man.
it. I knew it. I knew it. I
You
knew
kind of have to, Monica Berry. I've got like that's another one I use. I get them from Uline. I'll probably start using what's the other one? Trying not to use Uline for reasons. Um industrials global industrial supply or something like that. It has the same sort of stuff. I get the little bins that fit into those which one were they? Sorry, you guys. Those louvered walls. So they have smaller blue bins that fit into those cabinets with the louvered walls and the here. Hold on 1 second. I'll show you. They have small blue bins that fit into um, these larger ones, and I use those to sort. I stack them up. They're easy to store when you're not using them because they all stack together. I can grab some later next time I leave the room and show you what I'm talking about. But yeah, I kind of like pull out a color range that I'm going to work on and set out a certain number of bins for it, and then do that. Or there's nights where I pull out all the unsorted colors and put them or all the unsorted bins and put them by color into those smaller bins. And yeah, I time myself. I'm like, you're not gonna do this for more than 90 minutes because you'll lose the whole night. Because like once I get going, I'm like, I just want to get it done. That's my problem. Is that I'm like, I want this to end up being um something that has a conclusion.
Yeah, I
It's
call
like the
that
sun's coming.
project. I have that problem too. I call it project mode. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I might put it off,
Oh
put it
yeah.
off, put it off, but when I start it, I have to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
That drives me crazy if it's not done.
And let's be honest, there's no such thing as finishing sorting.
There's not. But there's, finishing a thing you think's only going to take an hour that's really going to take 4 hours. There's
Yeah,
still that.
we can totally hit this again sometime with a little bit more
Hey, it's
preparation. I just figured
it's
we
the
couldn't do.
first thing I said when we brought this up was this could be an episode all to itself.
Yeah. I like hearing it from Lego Team B. I'm sorry. But I didn't think we could do the letter S without bringing up one of the biggest S topics. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Ben, I just don't listen to you. I'm sorry. Um, without bringing up sorting and storage. It was just like you asked for shit Mark suggests for the S. That was
That
at
was
the
an S.
yeah,
Yeah.
it sure was. And I was like, well, yeah, we got to talk about this. I
What do
find
you think
myself
about Sean saying this though? I've never sorted. I'm a set guy, and the extras go in a cup.
oh, well, so he's literally talking about the type of collector that builds the sets, puts them on a shelf. And I imagine, Sean, what do you do with them when you run out of display space? Do you put them in storage? Do you put them in a box and keep them built?
Move to a
Um,
bigger house.
I mean, because in the content creator arena, a lot of those guys do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Different type of AFOLs, and that's why we're bringing them into the fold of Brickworld, because they're not going anywhere. They love this, and they're as passionate about it as we are. They just don't build like we do. They love the brand for different reasons, and that's okay. So he's talking the extras. He's talking about he's probably got pick-a-brick cups filled with like the
The
addition, like
one
the
by
extra.
ones. He
Yeah.
probably doesn't have pick-a-brick cups though, because what does he need a pick-a-brick cup for?
Oh, good question. Yeah, how does this happen, Sean? As for Sean, the you could probably bring those cups of extra pieces to the garage sale and sell them because people would be all over just a pick up a cup of random set extra pieces. I think those would sell really well. Monica Berry says it did take me through some time in September to sort out the family tree pieces from June. Oh yeah, are you kidding? I have stuff still built from 2014 collaborative build 2013 2012 actually. I still have some stuff. Um, but that was faster than the build. Yeah, of course. Hawkeye says, I keep 2 Christmas containers that you might store a wreath in or something. Gotcha. And I use them as my dump
To
bin
sort in the
for to
future.
sort in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got 3 or 4 of those going on, and I know Mark has gigantic ones of those.
because I bring them to shows when I'm like, if we need extra pieces, this is all
Here
unsorted
it
stuff. So
is.
the piece we're
Yeah.
looking for is probably in here somewhere. Our lug hates that. Um, oh, speaking of our lug, yeah, I'm gonna start calling it that, Monica Berry, because I love that is the what happens where I'm just like, I'm done. We're just dumping all of this into these. So ACOB pulls the figures and shrink wraps the sets, and that goes in a bin. All right, fascinating. So when you're on Think Outside the Blocks and you're trying to do a live stream about like how to build stuff, it's fun to see a set collector come by and like try to relate. Yeah, there's some cool pieces for sure. Yeah, I seriously bring the if you're willing to get rid of them, or if you want to make some extra money, I think people would definitely buy those. What was I saying?
Those parts in particular that are extras,
Mhm.
they're the small one by ones usually, right? They're the parts that the builders want.
Would absolutely love, especially when it
Yeah.
comes to like when they give you an extra of a printed tile or like when they get the little one by one in like the friend sets. I don't think he buys friend sets, but like that's the sort of stuff, especially in Star Wars sets. If there's anything extra that's like a
Yeah.
decorating element,
Like here
oh
these
come
would
on,
be the parts that you would find in there. These are sort of the set extras and the specialty parts. These parts are the parts I love, and they're the ones that you always end up with 1 or 2 extras of from
is
a
that your
set.
is that your pH bucket?
Sort of, but these are all parts that I really like. So there are lots of
Ah, okay.
1 by 1 with the bar on it, with the
Keep 'em
rounded
handy
back,
bucket.
and
Yeah.
clips with the bar holder in the back. I mean,
The
they're all good parts in here.
the good old common usage bucket. So
Yep.
I got these from IKEA because there's a zipper. Where's
Oh,
the zipper? I can't find this here down
other
and
hand. Yep,
yeah,
there it
thank you. I
is.
know mirrored.
Yep.
So and then
It's like trying to fix your hair.
fold up and you can yeah, exactly. They
Yep.
fold up and you can store them like they fold up completely flat. But I've got all like sorts of foliage and other pieces I use a lot in these. And then when I'm done with whatever project I'm working on that I need all this like common part stuff, like these for the windows in the Victor's swamp hideout. then I can just I can just unzip it, fold it up, and it's gone. So it's like the temporary sort of storage. They're drawer organizers from IKEA. You're supposed to put like socks and shirts stuff in them to keep everything separate. But I use them for Lego. All sorts of stuff we have to sort with. All sorts of stuff to sort with. That was a smart statement. I can't claim the term as my own. Don't remember where I first heard it. Possibly Liz Pulio, also in Sortlug. Is she Tacos from Lego Masters? Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sure.
So that reminded me, I meant to tell you one of the things to do with these custom boxes that I make to bring creations to the shows, keep them away from everybody, because this year when they pulled all my panels off the ship, because I built the sides of the ship, somebody took a box out from under my display tables that was custom built, like I showed you. Like I had cut it down to the right height, taped it, there was a side opening, and somebody pulled it apart and put it back into a regular box and then shoved all of my creations from the collaborative in it. Not that I could get them out without busting everything. And so hide that stuff from people, because they're going to people all over it. And they're going to just make really, really, really poor decisions with the stuff that you
people
brought.
all over it.
Hide those. I got that from Dee's. He was in the pre-chat. I haven't heard from him since. He's a busy guy. But if he's here, that's his saying. People, they're going to people.
People are going to people.
Tacos is someone else. Thank you for clarifying. She is from Lego Masters, but not Tacos. Okay. She's one of the music teachers, wore a red hat and hair and braids. Okay. I don't know what is happening with my ability to form a sentence at the moment. Have you watched any of this season, which is season 4?
A little bit. I mostly watch it with my son.
Okay.
He likes to do what he calls watching a sneak show, which is when my daughter goes to bed and he wants to stay up for another 20 minutes. And so we find a show to watch that we're sneaking, because Mom and Mara don't know we're watching it. I'm pretty sure they both know we're watching it.
Right.
But it's still fun. So
Liz's claim to fame apparently is she got to say amazeballs on national television. That's great. Monica's up to date on season 4. This is the first season I haven't watched every episode the night it comes out. Yeah. Not at the actual time it comes out, because I actually watch things like a normal human being on DVR.
So you can fast forward, not watch the commercials.
Realgar, what? ACOB conflicts with Lego Masters. Yeah.
ACOB, it's just like us. We respond to the chat. You actually get some interaction if you're here live, though we still love the replay gang.
And they have a lot of subscribers and people who watch, and they are all. I can't believe how well they keep up with commenting on or bringing up people's comments and responding to them. That's probably one of the reasons that stream goes as long as it does. Like ours is starting to as well, because they're so good at talking to everybody, and they know everybody. They remember everybody, not like me. I'm like, is this the first week Butt Chop series? Like, no.
No. I didn't remember Butt Chop doing a lot of speaking before though either, so that's all right.
I have to wait for Hulu this season. Seasons 2 and 3 I had watch parties to watch it live. Oh, interesting. Hey, look who's in the house. Z spouse. Hey, I made a little a rhyme about it. I know your daughter does not appear to know
about the sneak show.
Yeah. Oh, so the sneak show.
But Z spouse certainly knows, and Miles thinks he's hiding it from both of you. So he's only partially right, it sounds like.
So Sean says that they do around 30% views live and the rest for a replay. Oh, interesting. Really? That's cool. They watch. Oh, nice. I wouldn't do that. We only get 1 or 2 replay gang comments a month. A lot of UK peeps on as of late, and as well they should be. Yeah, good. I'm glad you're expanding your audience. I did make a comment in their chat where I'm like, no, you guys are 20 minutes behind. And I felt like a total dick. I was like, yeah, Mark, you literally know how it is where you can't remember what somebody said, what you yourself said 10 seconds ago. So when someone comments on it, you're like, Ben, what does this mean? So what's our next So we're gonna go through some sort of speed portion of this.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think of this? Let's do some speed run.
Oh, shiny sets. It looks like
Yeah,
I have it ready as well, but it looks like you're really ready for it. So
I
if you,
do, but
but
because we have the Plinko board,
oh, right. Okay.
maybe we can add the Plinko board.
I,
And what do you think? This is how
maybe.
long we're going to talk about each segment? 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute?
Oh, yeah, sure.
How speedy can we do it?
I don't know,
Let's
man.
see. Here we
I'm having
go.
full form sentences already.
Oh, I dropped that one before it was ready. Here we go. Plinko. And it broke.
Whoops. Loud
Plinko.
sound.
2 minutes.
2 minutes talk
Is
about
that
what?
is
For
that per shiny set or
yeah, shiny sets. We have 2 minutes. Do we do 2 minutes per set, or do we do just 2 minutes for the whole thing?
let's do 2 minutes per set. So a total of 4 minutes. I'm gonna bust out the camera because there's two sets or the stopwatch. I'm
Bust it
setting it
out.
for 2 minutes. And then I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to hit start. So here we go. And we can solo this bad boy and start. Here's the first one, Mark. Let's
Very
talk
cool.
about tiny plants.
Let's do that. What is happening? This is beautiful. Like I regret slightly that so many pieces in this are the pots because the plants that they've made, I want to see more plants. And I would be fine if like we had to buy the pots separate or make them ourselves because these are really, really cool. I'm excited about the red clamshell, the what are those? The tan flower stems, the printed cactus tiles. Like there's a lot of cool stuff
Mhm.
in here. What are your thoughts, sir?
The dark red hairbrush.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't even
I didn't
I
notice
don't
that.
even know what that Venus flytrap is made out of. But we've also got our fern piece in lime.
The fly trap is the birthday cake icing piece.
Oh, okay. We've also got the fern piece in lime, and then we've got that new paddle leaf here. I
Yeah,
believe all of these are
that's
made out of the newsboy hats.
the newsboy hats in dark green. Thank
Yep.
you, because it's a succulent. It's like the pearl drop succulent or whatever.
Yeah.
And I could not figure out what that was. I looked at it like several times. Like, is it? Am I just looking at it at a weird angle? So thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what that is. And it looks like it's 3 of each size of pot. And yeah, I don't know if the pots are really interestingly built or not, but
Yeah.
let's see here. 758 pieces, $50.
Yes. S for
Um,
758. As Realgar also says, that's very exciting that it's at that low price. Lightning round is hard because we got to get the comments in here too. Monica Berry, I'm not sure if she said it before I did or if she
Cake
hit
frosting. Yep.
cake frosting. She confirms I am correct. Excellent. And I don't know about you, but I'm going to take the piranha plant and throw it into one of these. One of what?
Yeah. Well, it could fit.
Oh, the piranha plant.
Uh-oh,
Like the
there's our 2 minutes.
Mario. Oh, that's all we got to talk about it.
We gotta move on.
Oh, this is hard.
Yeah, I thought so. This is
Oh,
why
oh.
it's a little bit of fun here. Let's move to the ornithopter.
Medium lavender
And
one by one tile with teeth. Sorry, I had to throw that one in there because I'm super excited about it. All right,
let's go.
so
Let's start.
June.
All right, so interesting that this set is coming
Yeah,
out. I saw it as a rumored set for a while. It doesn't really seem like the type of thing that would normally be a
no,
major Lego property, but they're doing it. What do you think of the set itself?
I think the set is fantastic. I'm very surprised to see it. They put a ton of characters in from the movie. I don't know what that mold is that creates the very 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 long legs on the well, it's obviously the robe or whatever that hangs off his body when he floats. Um, I feel like they're shoving the entire cast into one set, so I'm not sure that we're going to see others, and that's more what I'm
Yeah.
interested in. Is how would they do a full line? Because I'd be interested, especially because there's going to be several movies and the potential for several more after that because the Dune series of books is so prolific. I think this is an amazing set. And do we see some unique molds in here, Ben?
I didn't see a ton of unique molds. They've got these really long wing pieces. I don't know if they're existing or a new piece.
I don't either.
It is kind of a very thin or skinny model, but that's actually pretty true to the ornithopter itself. It looks like they also have a lot of functions, both to flap the wings and to raise and lower the landing gear that they have built in. So I'm interested to see how well those work because here it is, all with the wings folded up.
Yeah, very
And I
cool.
saw another one. It was probably in the video where there was a button or something that retracted all the landing gear. I don't know. There's a number of Technic pieces you can see in the build though, sticking out. So that's a little disappointing, but it's still an interesting choice for a set.
Yeah, not as sleek as you see when they fold up in the movie. Correct. Sean says this, and I've learned this from watching his stream. That is it wrong that he automatically deducts 20% from all Lego retail pricing? He thinks the new plan set is going to be 40 within a month or two, guaranteed. They seem to do this like they had an entire episode about like how to wait for discounts, how to wait for clearance, where to find clearance, where to find the best prices. Monica Berry says that we lost the audio, but it came back.
Okay,
I'm
that's
sorry.
good. I was still going, but our 2 minutes is up.
Yeah, I know.
Bum bum
I don't know
bum.
that he has long
That
legs.
speed round, baby. We got comments just coming out of everywhere, though.
I'm interested about this. Is that all fabric? Oh, I'm looking at my screen. It's not on yours. Pull up the one with all the people in it. I know we're
Yeah,
going over.
I'm going.
It's very swooshable.
Yeah, it definitely looks like fabric.
What? It's so thick though. It looks three-dimensional to me. Maybe
Well,
I'm
I
just
think that's front and back. I think it
so
hangs over.
It's like folded fabric.
Yeah, so I think this in here that you're seeing that's gray is the back.
Charlie Kaufman confirms the wings and one of the cockpit pieces are new. I thought one of the cockpit pieces were new. Good to know. Thank you, Charlie. Welcome. Good to have you here.
Probably this part in the front here. This looks like a pretty standard piece. I don't know.
Oh, Ben, what's the next topic? You do the Plinko board and
speed run.
Yeah, speed run. You run it. I've got to run for a second. I have a dog issue to attend to. I'll be right back.
Oh, store. Okay, how long are we going to talk about the store? Let me solo the Plinko board here. Let's drop it in. 3 whole minutes I can talk about this. Okay, awesome. I am going to talk about this, and I definitely need Mark to come back here when he's ready, but let me start. So, what I am excited about is that Sioux Falls, starts with an S, South Dakota, also an S, has some bricks and minifigs stores that they manage, and they are opening up new stores here in the Twin Cities. The very first one was in or is in Minnetonka, which is a suburb out, a hoity suburb out to the west that I'll never go to. But they announced a new store, which is going to be right here in my home city of Roseville, Minnesota, really close by. I don't know the bricks and minifigs structure as well as probably some of you do, but I'm really excited for the prospect of not having to drive miles and miles and miles to get to a Lego store. I can now find a lot of the new stuff at hopefully at this place. So let's see here. We actually have Bam Crest Hill probably perked up as soon as they heard, oh, we're going to talk bricks and minifigs. Yes, we are. So knows the structure and maybe can fill me in on some of it. But I know that they're franchises and that these seem to be owned by the Sioux Falls group. And I don't know. I asked Mark, do you know the Sioux Falls operators of the bricks and minifig store at all?
I do not.
Okay. So I'm trying to get a relationship with them, both for myself and of course for Brickworld, since, there's always going to be, you've had a good relationship with Crest Hill, with, the other folks.
Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo.
Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Illinois.
Yep.
So it'd be great to have a relationship in Minnesota too, especially if we can get Brickworld here eventually.
I don't want to take up your time for the new store, but I will say, Ryan Linsner, you want to stay on till the end to talk about the surprise show, because you might be interested in this surprise show that I'm putting in. Ooh,
yeah,
right?
Ooh.
Barry says, lucky I have to drive 2 hours to get to anything better than the Target.
Yeah. But for me, this is going to go from, a half-hour drive each way to get to the Lego store at the Mall of America to, in my city, 6 minutes, and I'm there door to door.
Rialgar, doesn't Kenosha have a store? I hate when my voice does that. Have a store. I hate watching myself on replay because I really judge my own voice. Why is
Yeah.
the refrigerator still open? I've been hearing this dinging for like 3 minutes.
Well, and my spouse says it's less than 2 miles away, so we're in trouble. Okay, we're reaching the end of our 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes on that one.
I'm sorry, I hogged some of that.
Ew, that's okay. But that just means that I'm going to try to try to worm my way into their hearts and minds to get them set up for supporting Brickworld to the extent I can, since
Oh.
I'm sure I will be supporting their store greatly with my dollar.
That'd be great. Yeah, please work your way in there. I appreciate that. D's will certainly appreciate any relationship that you're able to start with them. Why does Sioux Falls have like 4 to 5 stores? Sioux Falls?
I have one in Sioux Falls, but they're the ones who are pioneering the stores in the Twin Cities.
Oh,
So
great, good for them.
yeah,
They're wow. They're taking a franchise and moving it around the country. That's interesting with someone else's model. But hey, if you understand it, do it. Business. Let's go business. Surprise show? I don't know.
we'll get
We'll
to that.
see. You got to stick to the end of the live stream tonight to see what the surprise show might be. Bam. Ryan Linsner says, "I am in." Yes, yes, yes. Dustin and I chatted. Oh, you're already in on it. Okay, okay, good. Z spouse, less than 2 miles. You're in trouble.
Hmm.
I think that means you're in trouble.
She said we're in trouble. I think that means me and her personally and financially.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless we can get our stream monetized, then I can go there and say, "Oh, this is a business expense."
Ryan, you'll have to see what I have to say first before you actually ask to join in, because it might not be what you're expecting, unfortunately. But I'm going to share as much as I can. Rialgar says, yes, Kenosha has a store, and we know the people who run that one. Good friends of ours, Chris and Tyler. Great guys. Check out that store if you can. Support them, please. Monica Berry says, but like 3 hours to get to Brickworld, Chicago. So that's nice. Yeah, stay there. Stay right there. Perfect. You live in the perfect area. Many of our owners are opening numerous stores. Are you planning on doing that, Ryan? I feel like you have the tenacity to. Charlie Kaufman says, I'm 2 hours from Water Tower Place, over an hour from a BAM. Yeah. Are you though? Oh, why does my voice do these things? If you're 2 hours from Water Place, oh, you must be north. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, you have a couple of them west and south of the city. Yeah, there's one in Crest Hill, and there's one in Wheaton, I think. Chris and Tyler are awesome. Plus 2 more stores coming to Chicagoland. 2 more, maybe. All right, what's the next topic? We got to speed through. This is freaking me out. Like I've got some high anxiety.
Hey, we're having a little fun here.
I like it.
Scorpios. Let's talk about some Scorpios. Here we go. Plinko board on the Scorpios. 2 minutes to talk about some Scorpios. Okay,
2
Mark.
minutes. We don't need it. So we've got some birthdays. We got mine, and we got Rialgar. We also have Hawk, who's not here tonight. Unhappy Mohawk is not here, but it's birthdays, birthdays, birthdays. I'm getting old, so we had a little party here last night. It's been a long time since we've entertained at our house because of the basement flood, and so we invited like 20 people over, and like 18 of them said yes. So we had a ton of people here last night. We started at 7, and I went to bed at 4 a.m. And I was like,
wow,
how the hell old am I? And why am I still having this type of mentality? But it was so great to entertain again. It felt very cathartic, like some people feel when they sort. So happy birthday to you, Rialgar, as well. How was your birthday, sir? Tell us in the chat. We will put it up on screen. Back to this conversation. Rialgar says Chicago swimming.
Still have a minute on this topic, and you've ignored me. I'm a November Scorpio who you don't trust.
Are you kidding me? How do I not know this?
You know, my birthday's not for a few weeks still.
Oh my God! You're also a Scorpio,
and we get along. Yes, I know you were shocked because you always tell me November Scorpios are not trustworthy.
No, they're not. No, you're garbage.
I'm garbage. I'm a garbage person. Essentially is what I've been told.
My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law are both, and another really good friend of mine are all November Scorpios. And like, that does kind of surprise me because like, again, I don't mean to be an astrology nerd, but like, I feel like, but no, it kind of makes sense.
I want to hear it.
You're a dire smartass. Like you are, So you remember, I've been meaning to talk about this on the live stream. Maybe I have, because I've had some live streams where I don't remember anything I've said, for different reasons. For different reasons from time to time. But when we first met, when we first started hanging out at Brickworld, I think I totally misunderstood you, and Matt had to pull me aside and tell me that I was not nice to you. And I'm like, he's not nice to me. And he was like, yeah, he is. He's like a ball buster, like all your college friends. And I was like, oh.
Now you know it's because I'm a November Scorpio and we're all terrible.
But you also come off at first as an introvert. And so suddenly you'd be like
I am
silent,
an
silent,
introvert.
silent, silent, silent. But you're not, though. You're an extroverted introvert because you're incredibly social and you like to bring people into things. So you're not fully introverted because you like to bring people into the group. And that's not what
I am, and I'm not. I'm like it depends on the situation.
And that's why Matt understood what was happening and I did not, because Matt's the same way.
But anyway, lots of Scorpios,
including you,
including me. Yes,
I'm sure we've been over this.
we talked about it once briefly, and you were just mad that I was a November Scorpio. But you probably were like, in order to preserve our friendship, you brushed it under the rug, I think.
Right. I would say
that's what it is.
Like, correction, I would say I was probably disgusted that you're a November.
Yeah. All right. Next topic. I'm excited for this one. Let's see how much time we got on it. 2 minutes. Okay. Sov Sits. Do you know what a sovereign citizen is?
No. Let's
okay. They are my new secret shame or secret pleasure is to watch videos of sovereign citizens in court. They are people who believe that the laws of the United States do not apply to them because the United States is a corporation and they are individuals and they don't need driver's licenses.
I read this
or other things.
This week I read about these guys. Yes. What?
So they're my guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
And they are crazy.
Yes.
And it's like an entire internet thing. And there's lots of stuff like this. But it's just
this on our
layer upon layer upon layer of crazy.
Yeah.
That bleeds all into all kinds of realms for their craziness.
I sort of appreciate the fact that they're going from it from like an actual legal standpoint as opposed to like the other crazies like flat earthers.
Yeah, I mean it's man. My spouse says I'm 100% an introvert, but if I was a Sov citizen, I couldn't be because all they want to do is fight with the police officers that pull them over. So I can't fall into this category and tell them how you don't know the law. Article blah, blah, blah says I have the right to travel and that a motor vehicle doesn't mean this is my personal conveyance, not a motor vehicle, and I have a fee schedule that I'm going to give you. If you pull me over, you have to pay me $100 billion. Okay, so this is the Sov Sits, right? And they're all crazy and all over the place, but they're my guilty pleasure.
Left turn here. The hard left turn. I don't know how this made it into the
2 minute speed run. Yeah. All I want to say is we all have our guilty pleasures. Sovereign citizens are mine. Check them out.
All right, so time is up. I just want to hit these.
Time is up.
Realgar says this. Yeah, let's get it. Sonoma. Only Sonoma people can do it. You're not a Sonoma person, Ben. So Ryan says he turned 42 weeks ago. Libras for the win. Yeah, I mean, Libras are cool. I turned 47 2 days ago. Thank you, sir. Realgar says that they had sushi and karaoke. So I have a karaoke mic. And I told one of my friends, I was doing some ball busting myself then. And I was like, I hear you, when you do karaoke, you do Under the Sea. And I'm like, we all need to hear it. So I have a karaoke mic. The speaker comes directly out of the microphone. And he did the entire soundtrack from Under the Sea, and then went through all of my favorite 80s songs. Like, he killed it. And the minute he picked up the microphone, one of my friends was like, hey, I have a question for you. I'm thinking about buying a business. I wondered if you had any advice. So he's singing to me, and I'm in this like deep conversation with somebody. about business purchases. I'm like, I have a lawyer. I'm like, I will send you this information. I'll send you. I'm like, we opened up the our calendars, and I was like, okay, I get back from Detroit on the 7th, or I don't even know when I come back. But I was like, we are going out for dinner the next night, and I will talk to all these people. I will call them. I will send them your contact information. This guy's singing to me the entire time, and it was hilarious and beautiful. And he kept like, I just kept hearing him say, like, Mark's not really paying attention, but he literally requested this. Monica Berry, November 20th is still Scorpio. Yeah, it lasts a while. Does that mean that's you? Monica,
November 20th, but pretty close.
Oh, I see. She's saying that's as far as it goes. Is Monica Berry
Yep.
also a November Scorpio?
I think her dad was.
Her dad's birthday. There we go. Thank you. But we are spooky Scorpios. That's right. We are Halloween
October
Scorpios.
ones are spooky. The November ones are trash.
They get more evil the later it gets in the year, actually. Yeah, we already hit that one. Soviet cities.
Soviet cities, no. Sovereign citizens. Crazy, check them out.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. I love them in court. They're the best.
Glenn Carbon.
If you have a guilty pleasure that you enjoy, like I enjoy Sov Citizens, indulge in it sometimes. But it's a rabbit hole if you go down it.
Ryan Linsner says that his store is a sovereign state, just like the Vatican. Just walk away from that nonsense. Okay. Yep. I agree. If we're talking about the Sov Cid, yeah, get away. Crazy indeed. Yep. Whoa.
Oh, you do the display.
Sean. I'm sorry. I'm no longer a grammar jerk, but Sean, we're the same generation, and that's how you spell whoa. Oh, so it's Sonoma. So you do this, and it gives you the
pew pews.
The pew pew or the laser show. You do this. This is something. It's fireworks. Yeah.
Fireworks.
This is a
and then the thumbs up. Does the
thumbs up, and then you do this for
balloons.
And I think this does something too. Or did I already do that?
Just gives you a lot of peace. I don't know.
Maybe
double peace.
I don't know. Or maybe that was the fireworks, and I literally already did it and forgot. Oh no, that's these. So Charlie Kaufman says when he was riding a Harley, here we go, with nose, and a cop asked, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And I point to the what's NOS?
NOS.
Yes.
Nitrogen, whatever it is, the speed juice.
Because I let you. August Virgo. Yep. Virgos. I mean,
would that make me a Sov? No, if you did not have a license plate because you believed that your motorcycle was your personal conveyance and he didn't have a right to pull you over because you were traveling, then that would make you a Sov citizen.
Wait, we missed one in there. So Monica Berry, if I could, I would hire an entire staff of Virgos. Honestly. Not even, this isn't just like an astrology nerd.
It's not StreamYard.
That's not
doing it. ACOB, man. It's his super special.
Like, I keep saying Sonoma. I don't know why both of you thought StreamYard. Sonoma is the new, like, Realgar, no.
No, this is his special Apple operating system that makes him cooler than the rest of us. If I text Mark, because I have an iPhone, if I text him pew pew, it does the laser show.
Yep.
So it's similar to that, except it's gestures on the web browser.
The newest iOS is called Sonoma, and for whatever reason, they added this thing when you're on video. So you can do this on Zoom, you can do this on StreamYard, you can do it on Ecamm Live, you can do it anywhere where your camera is working. You can do this, and balloons show up.
Mm-hmm.
You do this, and you get a laser show. Pew pew.
Yep. Pew pew. S is for silly, indeed. S is for Sonoma.
I talk with my hands. So there was an episode where I was talking about, like, I was doing like air quotes, and balloons just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. All right. What's our last one? Segments.
Okay. Look at Realgar's like, no, not StreamYard.
No, not StreamYard.
Well done, my friend. Well done. Favorite comment of the night.
Ooh, 3 minutes for segments. You ready for it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's start it. Okay, segments. Segments are what we do on the show, where we do segments like speedrun. I will say that Are You Blank? Complete flop. That one didn't make any sense. But we've had other ones that are good, right? Like Closet of Shame.
Mock Trial.
Mock Trial.
We're going to do Mock Trial again.
Lego Crimes. What are some of the chat's favorite segments that we've done, so we can do more of the ones that people like?
Sean,
Um,
no. Says his StreamYard only runs on Chrome.
that's false. I am on Edge.
Well, and I'm on Firefox.
Mark's on Sonoma or Firefox
Firefox.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Firefox.
So it's not. No, it's an iOS.
It's an iOS thing.
iOS is the operating system for a Mac. So you have to be
Okay.
on a Mac to have it. Sorry to
All right.
keep
Segments. Back to segments.
Wait, no. A, I have to apologize for like being so confusing about it. But B, I also have to apologize for being a patronizing dick about it. Sorry, Sean.
Segments. Back to segments. So which segments have you liked? What do we need to do more of? Closet of Shame when we have a new guest for sure. No
Closet of
question.
Shame. I could do that weekly, my friend. We could do Closet of Shame every week. I have a
Yeah.
lot of shame in this house.
Me too, but it's like,
Yeah,
you can't pull those out every single time. I do feel like it lets you into the world of the person. When I had Jesse on and he pulled out the freaking Black Tower from Lord of the Rings, everyone's like, that's not shame, that's a flex, Jesse, like breaking him down. But then Simon, he had the baby battle
the
packs.
sewer babies. Yes, that was awesome. That was a
Oh man.
great Closet of Shame.
So that segment's definitely a yes. Are you blank is definitely an out. I feel like we can't do say what again because we ran through all the acronyms, but that was a fun one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nobody seems to be commenting on what segments are good,
Well,
but
maybe they just like coming by and they don't need us to be, gimmicky. Not that
we're
we're
not
gimmicky.
gimmicky. We're just having fun.
What about Lego Crimes? You guys want to see us do that again? Because I have 2 cases like just sitting in my bookmarks, and I just haven't had time to like rope Nicole in because the fall's been so busy with shows. I'm
Yeah.
sure she'd love to do it. She's expressed interest in doing it again. I would very much love to do another Lego Crimes episode. Closet of Shame with multiple sets. Jesse's Bricks Galaxy says he'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could do one a week for a long, long time. We could do
Yeah, me
multiple sets,
too. It's just like, hey, clean out the closet and put it into a new pile.
right?
Um, Real
What's
Guy says, "What is your favorite
your favorite
dinosaur?"
dinosaur? Yeah, we'll try that one out, Realgar.
Does that mean Lego dinosaur or just any dinosaur? But
That's a good
I would
question.
take either. I don't know.
I
Monica says, "I don't remember any segments aside from Closet of Shame." Well, okay, there's our timer. But
hopefully.
here's speedrun. Could say, "Hey, speedrun. This is a segment we're literally doing right now."
Yeah, I like speedrun.
Um, it was a little
No
different,
restrictions.
but
No restrictions, just what's your favorite dinosaur? Oh, look who jumped in as I was trying to hit the Realgar. Shy Time is My Time is here. Thank you for joining us. You
mhm.
missed a lot of crazy stuff, but at least you didn't come in when we were talking about head skin.
Head skin, head skin, not skinheads, head skin. Which apparently you should just say scalp. Guess that's easier. I don't know.
What about a tier list? Huh?
We haven't done any tier lists, but that could be a thing. They
What?
do these on YouTube. It's like,
Oh,
here's 15 sets. Which ones of these make S tier? What's A tier? What's B tier? What's complete suckness?
ACOB did that for the live stream, the weekend of live stream for whatever that's for, like charity and stuff.
Yeah.
That's I'm being awful. I did not intend to be, but I was. My favorite segment is Mark saying things.
Well, that's every segment.
Ooh, custom prints.
Yeah, I could
I
talk
like
about
that as
some of
my
those and custom molds.
I also say shy. Awesome. Glad you're here. Shy. I have to read these before I put them up on screen. S is for Shy Time. Yes, welcome, my friend. You're one of the tainted that has their name is this episode is brought to you by S. In case you're wondering why we're shouting S is for Shy Time at you.
The letter S for a second time.
Are we already there? Is it time to talk about the surprise show? S for
Oh,
surprise.
that was the speed run.
Yeah, speed run's done. I like the speed run.
Yes. All right. I think we'll keep speed run as a segment.
100%.
Yeah.
So there's a surprise show coming up potentially. Hold on. Got to open some software here. As for software, when will this be? If it happens, it would be December 16th and 17th. Everybody's on board. But there are two S's that are stopping me from announcing it. One would be signature. I haven't signed a contract. And then the other S would be site. I haven't seen the contract. But we would call it Brickworld Holiday Joy because it occurs in a city that we already operate in. And so we need to name it apart from it because we can't call it Brickworld Chicago. So we're calling it Brickworld Holiday Joy. We have a couple of local lugs that have had their annual Christmas shows canceled by the venues. And so we'll definitely do this for a fact in 2024. I don't know. It's kind of making plans on the moon. Everybody is on board. So we have a show ready to go literally 6 weeks from now. And it would be our 7th show, as for 7th show. And it would be the first time Brickworld has added 2 shows in one season since the company started. So we'll see what happens. It would also be only 13,000 square feet.
Ooh.
So it would very much be about interactives and World of Lights. So we'd have the 3 local lugs, and they would set up in somewhat limited space. And then the lights would go off every 45 minutes. So the public could enjoy World of Lights. We did this at Grand Rapids this year, so the public got to enjoy World of Lights for the first time. It's the first time we did it without it being an expo. I'm sorry, a convention night, and allowing the public to be in a dark room. So I'm very excited about it. I hope it happens, but I also feel a bit insane, a bit as for sociopathic that I would be like, hey, a couple months ago, I couldn't find the energy to do Grand Rapids and Fort Wayne right after each other, and it caused me a lot of like sleeping time. That was a blood pressure medication thing. Don't worry about it. But now we've corrected that, and I'm like, yeah, let's do a show in 6 weeks. I'm just like, all right, I'm back to myself. Feeling myself again for sure. If I'm like, yeah, we can 100% do a live show 6 weeks from now. Yeah, why not? No contract yet. No ticket sales open. No way for you to ask if you can display or vend there because we're just not official until you sign a contract. That's a possibility. But surprise show, surprise, it's definitely going to happen in 2024. It may happen 6 weeks from now, but it'll definitely happen in 2024. So there we are. We're at the end of our run of show, and we're not quite at 3 hours yet. We're actually
Not
just
even at 2.5.
I know. Look at this. This feels concise. I feel good about that.
Well, that means you're going to talk for another 33 minutes. I know how this works.
We can, but I would have to use the bathroom. I need to go again.
Well, of course you would.
Yep.
Did you finish our outro for this week?
I did, actually.
Awesome. Okay.
So do you want to keep going, or do you want the outro?
What do I want and what should we do are probably 2 separate things. I do want to point this out. We are going to go for a little bit longer because nobody called me on this. Look at the full run of show.
I'm leaving you.
Okay.
Gotta go.
Okay. There's an Easter egg in this full run of show. Shout it out. What's the mix up? What did I do here? How did I blow this? S is for staff. I discussed with staff, and they are shocked and surprised. 2 other S's. One of you guys is for sure going to figure out what sort of nonsense went on. Normally what happens is I come up with a run of show, I send it to Mark. I usually say, hey, Mark, why don't you insert one segment, starts with S. And this time I sent him that. I said, please insert one segment, and he just rewrote everything we were going to talk about. Let's see here. Here's some suggestions. Maybe the problem is the struggle. No, that's fine. No. Let's see. Jesse's doing nightmare trains, but holidays for groups and guests with their extended families around can always be a fun show as well. So it sounds like Jesse thinks it's a good idea. We're still looking at our run of show here, and trying to figure out what I messed up. I knew it was wrong, and I just left it because I didn't want to fix it. No 5 when we've got it here. Skip to 6 and no 5. Those are right. That's what I messed up here. So originally there were 6 segments, and then Mark wanted to talk about shipping in particular because of all of your suggestions, and the struggle is real. So I had to rearrange, and when I rearranged, number 5 was its own segment. In fact, Scorpios was going to be its own segment earlier in the show, but because I had to rearrange, I had to move a bunch of them into the speed run, since I figured if I didn't do that, we would be here until 12:30. So when I readjusted, we ended up with 5 segments, but I had left the 6 on there. So that's why we ended up missing 5. I said, let's see if anyone calls me out on it during the stream. We made it all the way to here with no one noticing. So I think that's pretty good.
Extra points to Monica Berry for like a good portion of her comments tonight were based on the letter S.
That's always fun. It's always a little extra bit of joy when you can have all of your S's on there.
That one surprised me, my friend. Sovsits really surprised me. I was like, I obviously didn't read it very closely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Building the fighter tank, been looking for Windu's hair for 3 minutes. Should go to bed. Check under the table, my friend. Check the bags that you already pushed to the side. That sort of thing sticks in the plastic.
Hold on, Mark.
Head
What
skin?
hair does Mace Windu have? Yes, he has a head skin issue.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. Why are you looking for his hair? He has hair in quotes. Oh, dang it.
Yes, Mark, because he doesn't have hair. So the fact that he's been looking for his hair is a bit of a problem and a signal that he's perhaps tired and you should go to bed.
Like, that's why I'm wondering, like, is there something in the instructions that shows he has hair? So yeah, and good night. Maybe I should go to bed. I do not like to talk. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he does.
I'm gonna do a BAM stream. I think every store I've gone to is lovely. Only difference is inventory and pricing, and some of them get kidnapper vans driving through their front window.
There's that.
Monica Berry slipped those in where I could. Yeah, you did
Yep.
great. I thank you, Joe. Like, it's a clever joke, so I went, but I'm like, now I'm worried that he was actually looking for it for 3 minutes. I would say go to bed, but also glad I told you can look under your table or look in the cellophane.
Those are good places. Those are great suggestions. Also, like, look under any panels that are hollow on the inside. Any other suggestions on where we might find Mace Windu's hair?
Plenty. I can keep going because I love to talk.
It's next to the blinker fluid for your car.
Is that why my blinker's out?
Probably. That
Where
would
do I
make
get
sense.
blinker fluid?
Yes, and I've been told Mace Windu has a scalp issue.
Does Amazon have blinker fluid?
No, I think you can only get that at O'Reilly Auto Parts. I'm
Fair
pretty
enough.
sure.
I'll stop at one.
Mm-hmm.
It started working again, actually. So I think I have an S for short somewhere in the wiring.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the blinker fluid.
I do. I'm going to use that.
Oh man, that was good.
It was a good show. So before we get to the end, which I don't feel ready to leave either. Like, I do love doing the live stream, and I love having the group here that we have. And it is kind of like, it's something I look forward to all week. And then it's something like when it's done, I'm always like, look at this. Hawkeye Lego Man says, okay, my mouse died. Nope, got it back. So sorry. Someone should say something since she said 6, shaking my head. All right. He took it as a challenge that Monica Berry was using S in her comments all night. You don't even know what kind of car I drive, Ryan. How do you know which part I should look at?
Is gullible also written on the ceiling in your room, Mark?
What? How did that happen? So the outro, when we get to it, I'm not forcing us to end the stream because we all just aren't ready to say goodbye yet. We're gonna have some FOMO. So we've had an unfortunate success as for success. Wait, what happened?
I looked up the part.
It is the flux capacitor? O'Reilly Auto Parts for the win. What is happening?
I appreciate that.
Can you actually buy it? Like, is it just like a wall decoration?
It says this item is not available for purchase. Did you see all of the information? This is quality. They did a good job. So it's
This is good, fine.
121 gigawatts or gigawatts. Its material compatibility is plutonium. Working speeds 88 miles an hour. And see, look, they have got a whole description.
Can I ask that somebody tells me they're looking for the hairpiece for a bald minifigure every week? See how long it takes me to catch on. But so the guy with the who built a Lego Ghostbuster backpack is calling us a bunch of freaking nerds. True, definitely true. 1.21 gigawatts. So the outro is a preview for the next Brickworld crossing because we've had an unfortunate success with our Brickworld channel, our YouTube channel. Sean Acob made a comment on the last Brickworld crossing video I did, and he said we need Buttland merch. And I was gonna thank him for being one of the 4 people who looked at the video. And then I was at my mom's house on Friday. We were celebrating my birthday with my family. And for whatever reason, I was just like, let's check the views on all my YouTube videos. This is kind of like a compulsive thing I do from time to time. And the views were up to like 400 some odd. And I was like, when did this happen? And
The
so
Buttland video?
home, the last Brickworld crossing video.
Yeah.
When I got home, I was telling Matt about it. And so I had my laptop out because we were trying to do a bunch of work to get ready for the party we had yesterday. And there was already another 150 views in the couple hours since I had last checked. So I was like, okay, Brickworld Crossing has more views than most of our live stream, most of our demonstration, most of our virtual session show from the show. So I'm like, we got to keep doing these. So I have a preview of the next Brickworld Crossing. That's going to be the outro because that's what I've been working on. But I'm working on it because we want monetization. Sorry. As for sorry.
As for sneeze.
Oh, you know what's funny is I was literally searching in my head for an S word for what had just happened. And I was like, Achu doesn't start with S.
Gesundheit starts with an S. Anyway.
So I am going to focus some time on it. Not like I really have time, but thank goodness it has like a Lego connection. So it can still be Lego connected. And maybe if we get monetization through these Brickworld Crossing videos, I have a Ripsaw, a Razor Ripsaw capture card here. I can do these in like a half hour or so. And then if I do them concisely, it doesn't take me a long time to make them. And so I'm totally fine with pumping this Animal Crossing well to get more viewership, to like get monetization for what we actually want to do, which is this. So that will be the priority. But I may throw in some more Brickworld crossings than I do demonstration videos just to get the viewership up and get us monetized and get us moving forward. And so if you don't care about Animal Crossing, then don't watch the outro. It is like 3.5 minutes because I couldn't find a good place to cut it. And also I couldn't hear where I cut it. So I may cut myself off in the middle of a sentence, but it's just a preview of the most recent video. Sneeze salutations. That is literally what happened. That was a violent ass sneeze that came out of nowhere. I'm like, I could not stop it. There was no way I was going to be able to. Scared the dog. All right. So what else do we want to talk about?
We've got. Do you have any more Nintendo tips for Mark?
No, not really. I mean, we've talked enough about it, and there's not enough new Animal Crossing news. I would say if you're not into it, don't start now. Here's the Nintendo tip. If you like what's coming out because you like Fabuland and you like Lego and you like Nintendo, this is not the time to pick up a Switch just to play Animal Crossing because they're coming out with a new Switch in the second half of 2024. And we may actually see in that case. And one of the things that I'm thinking about the timing of the Animal Crossing line is that we may see a new Animal Crossing game as well. So I think it'll be backwards compatible, so you can play the current one. If you really, really want to do it, go ahead. I can't stop you from doing anything, but I would say wait for this new Switch to come out. Hopefully you'll be able to play New Horizons on the new one, but I'm also hoping that there's going to be a new title so that they can kind of like have a normal rollout of a game, especially one that has like so many online features. What happened with Animal Crossing New Horizons is its release date was March of 2022. And it's a cozy game that's life simulation, so it blew up because people had nothing else to do. And so entire families would play it, and they buy multiple Switches so everybody could have their own island, because you can't have multiple islands with one Switch. If you want more than one island, you have to have an additional Switch. And so people were obsessed with this game. It became the second best selling Switch game ever. The other edge of that sword was that when they released it, they promised a rollout of updates. So the game would keep growing and keep enhancing. And then they had to start like pulling back on their production because people couldn't work. They couldn't bring people to the headquarters, and like, so they had to not have as many updates as they promised. And so they kind of shoved it all at the tail end of the really bad part of the pandemic in 2021, like announcing a massive update, being like, here's all the new stuff you're getting, and people were geeking out. And in the same video, it started like, you're getting all these features, you're getting all these features, you're getting all these features. Also, this is the last time we're doing anything with this game. No more updates. So I think, like I say it in the video, like Lego fans are spoiled, Animal Crossing fans are spoiled, but I think we'll see it, and I think it'll be a great game when they're actually able to operate as normal if we have a new one in 2024. So if anyone out there is interested in Animal Crossing outside of the Lego sets, don't start playing it until we see the news of what's happening in 2024 with the new console. As for not concise, buy PlayStation. That's not my advice at all, by the way. Stick with Nintendo.
S for Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a PlayStation of any variety.
Yeah.
Wah wah. I want some details on the new area BAM stores. Have you heard about the very possible new Lego partnership? We haven't.
No.
But
sure.
What you got?
Yeah. Drop whatever you want.
Sounds like speculation to me.
Well, I think he's pretty much in the know.
Yeah, I suppose.
Not great at keeping S for secrets. Lego seems to be branching out into some things I never thought they would. I've had some discussions with them, or have I? Maybe I haven't. Maybe I've imagined them that I've been surprised by. S for surprised by.
S for shocked.
Ish. So what he says. Yeah.
We kind of talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Sales are softening. I've heard that. Ben, we talked about that, where they're trying not to produce so many sets over $300 per year.
Yeah.
Oh,
who knows?
He does keep secrets after all. So
well, you don't have to keep them. You don't have to keep them from us.
Your secret is safe with us and whoever is watching.
Secret safe. They're finally going to be good partners, I hope. Well, yeah.
It just depends. Every time they start something new, it depends on their turnover in legal and marketing, and then it depends on what happens with the IP. Like let's go back to Prince of Persia. It's like, well, that was a Disney partnership.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
How many times on Star Wars have they had issues with that?
That's one of my points. Remember, like when the new Star Wars movies were coming out, they of course came out with a new wave of I think a better example, because it's more recent, I guess, was the Lord of the Rings. They came out with those sets when the Hobbit movies were announced. So they came out with like canon Lord of the Rings sets, and then they came out with the Hobbit sets when the Hobbit movies came out. That's what I think might be happening with Animal Crossing. They're coming out with New Horizon sets with a couple throwbacks to older titles, like some outfits from earlier games. That's about it. Like there's some very small earlier game parts in those sets.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's kind of like the OT Star Wars sets releases when there's a new prequel trilogy planned sort of thing. I hope so anyway. Who knows? Anything's possible, but I'm like, there's definitely history for like Lego bringing on a brand and creating sets based off of their canon stuff right before a new release and then dropping a wave that's their new release.
Yep.
That's my hope anyway.
Happens all the time. Let's see here. New
Know.
BAM stores coming to Schaumburg and likely Northbrook.
All right.
S is for spider. I assume that's a tub, not a tube.
S is for supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
It is. Yep.
So we got. Are we friendly chatting here? Big box retail guy by trade, so I snoop. There's no reason for them not to give you more points other than they can. What's happening? Hey, good for you. Glad to see that happening for you, Ryan Linsner. S is for Lego being stingy.
I think this is mostly stemming from this particular comment. I hope they give their BAM partners better margins. It's criminal where it's at now.
Nah, thank you. That's where. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. We don't have a dog in this fight, so.
Oh, she means. So normally I find spiders in tubs of brick. For some reason they can get in, they can't get back out. But Monica was clarifying she found a spider in a tube, as in the anti-set of a piece.
I found a spider nest in the tube of a 2x4. The corner of a 2x4. So outside the tube, technically.
Yeah, the little egg sacs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Spider
Other words, our Lego margins are hashtag 4-letter word that begins with S.
S for S word.
S for demonetized. I think you can drop a couple swear words before you get demonetized, but we're not there yet anyway. So.
Well, and just not in the first 10 seconds. So.
Oh, is that the deal?
Yeah, S for shit.
Okay, then we can say it.
PH for fucking bucket. Yeah, we can say it all now. We're 3 hours
topical, in. Mark. We aren't beefing. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha.
I wonder if Sean would join us one day.
Ha ha.
Would Sean grace us with his presence as a third co-host who has no purview for mock building?
Well, it's not the only thing we talk about.
That's true.
And it would be, fine to get his perspective as well. We've already had Nicole on. We might as well just get, more ACOP people over. Why not?
Definitely.
He can talk Thursday all he wants about how much fun he's gonna have on our show, of course.
Maybe he can be your co-host next week when I'm out of town.
Yeah.
Sean.
And he says, come on, especially if he can mock you.
Of course you can.
I mock Mark every week because I'm an evil November Scorpio, so it's okay.
Yeah, totally.
And
we're on board with all that.
Crest Hill would hop on anytime. So we've got all kinds of people.
Ryan's very fun on a live stream. He's been doing it for a long time, so he knows what he's doing. He even knows StreamYard. So you have a better partner than you have now. Me going like, what button am I hitting?
Oh, no. Season 4 of Lego Masters. Thoughts so far? You missed it
a
little earlier. We did talk about this briefly. I watch it with my son, S for son, when we're doing sneak shows, S for sneak show, which means when he's supposed to be sleeping, S for sleeping, and he's not. And we watch it in chunks. And honestly, it's okay. I think most of the AFALs I knew were on season 1 or especially season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I knew a couple of the people on season 1. I knew several people on season 2. Since then, it's sort of tailed off, and they're doing more personalities, and they did a couple streamers here and there, and some other
Stream
stuff, which is fine. Yeah, streamers, those
content
stupid
creators.
content creators with their S's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine too. They're just not AFOLs that are in my orbit, at least. But yeah, I knew. Well, how many of the people did we know on season 4? 8, 9?
I have
It
no
was a
idea
lot.
how
It
much
was
of
a
that
lot.
show.
Or in season
Oh,
2,
season
like
2?
8 or
Yeah.
9.
Like half the cast, we knew.
Yeah. So, and some of them legitimately my friends, other ones definitely acquaintances.
100%.
So it was a large number, and we knew some people in season 1 as well.
Closest people
So,
I've been with on the show were Philip and Maria,
yeah.
and I love them, like
But
truly
I
friends.
knew Mark Erickson some, since we both did Castle for a long
Yeah,
time. So there were some people that I knew. So we also knew, of course, Dave Coletta. He's been to Brickworld Chicago
from the
many,
beginning.
many
Oh,
times,
yeah.
and he was sitting right next to me my first Brickworld show in 2012 at the old Wheeling location. He sat right next to me.
Yeah, good guy.
So it's quite a few people we knew on that season. I don't know anyone on this season.
I haven't watched yet, so I don't know if I know anybody or not.
Maybe you do. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I guess that's just sort of my response. I don't know if this is your feeling about season 4 so far, but
Maybe.
it's a thing.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna kind of bring this up. Is that for Sean? Because I thought they were saying he might be on season 5 because I think they're filming them back to back because they're switching the schedule. So is Duck on season 4? Because Duck's awesome. We'll wait for a response to that. What's this say?
no, it was something else. It wasn't for
Something else
season
was
4.
stupid.
Okay.
Something else was stupid. I'm sure we'll watch it back and be like, oh, we said stupid like
It's
4 times.
probably this. Next week, no Sean. He's
Oh,
got to
okay.
go to his anniversary dinner with a wifey.
Duck is season 4.
Chris is
Yeah, yeah,
Duck.
yeah.
Chris. I'll have to watch more closely. I couldn't tell you who Chris is.
Yeah. It's like for me watching the show, it's like especially with the people I know, it's hard to watch people like practically read off a script for something that's supposed to be a spontaneous confessional. I think there's a lot of overproducing on the show, and I wish they would just let people be people.
Yeah.
We have this
Well,
problem bit at Legoland where it's like I would do a lot of the media stuff, and then I get in trouble with my coworkers because like you made us look like nerds, and I'm like, wait, okay, how did I do that? They're like, you played in the whole thing. They were like talking about like you being an Oompa Loompa, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's what they wanted. They're like feel good stories. Like, sorry, like we're a bit produced in this way, and that's what like people see us as. But it's a shame to see it in this format because it's so forced. I guess like I've been part of the same sort of thing in my
I
experience.
would be terrible on that show.
Yeah,
Terrible. It
yeah.
would seem so forced for me.
I would say this live stream is not an audition for Lego Masters. I will say
You,
that. Yeah, I
you.
can't. I think that's one of the reasons Tim and I didn't make it because one of the first things we said, they kept trying to ask if I was a father figure for Tim because of the age difference. And we're like, Tim runs the show and I listen to what he says. No. And so I literally said, I'm like, I don't think you could produce us. So don't, I'm not even giving a thumbs up. Like, yeah, I think it'd be really hard to be on the show. Matt's always like, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, because you can promote the Brickworld brand. I'm like, could I?
I
And really,
know. That's the
it was,
problem.
yeah.
I mean, you could and you couldn't, because people could find you independently, and then that would promote the Brickworld brand.
And people could find me like disagreeable watching the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on how they want to make you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to be on um, with someone who's a smart ass jerk and makes you mad because you
Right.
know you don't want to say to somebody you don't know how to Lego, like our guy from season 1.
Gary's here.
Who's the guy from season 1? You know him with the braided mohawk, one of the gay falls.
Sam.
Yeah. You don't want to say something like that and then all of a sudden be cast as a villain, you know?
Exactly. And then like have all these things like, well, I think that was a different story, but there were definitely things that they posted way out of context.
Right.
And then you could see that it was the case. Like when they were trying to prove that they were trying to show that they like didn't have their stuff together. And so they were asking Jessica questions and they made it look like she was on her phone, like ignoring them when she was on her phone trying to make the geared up thing work on their display. I was like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
Surprised like they would get this gimmicky, but now I know, and they've stayed that gimmicky.
Right. And you don't want something like that. You just want to.
They didn't let them say Bionicle.
There was an episode this season where they made a volcano, and one of the guys made a big mask that looked like a Bionicle mask, and for some reason they apparently wouldn't let him say it. I don't know.
Would they let me say Fabuland?
I don't know. I don't think they let you say. I don't think they let you say Fabuland Architects Guild. I think that would probably be a no-go.
In retrospect, that was a really bad move on my part.
Yeah.
I thought it was clever. We changed it to the Fabuland Builders Guild.
Fine.
I'm so glad you brought that up on the live stream.
We've talked about it before. It's hardly a secret.
That's great. I can't keep all the conversations we've had on this live stream. That's the other thing is like, it's weird that I forget things that we've done on this. So when I look back at old episodes, I'm just like, oh, we've 100% talked about something I didn't realize we talked about at all, but that I was actually thinking about bringing up on the next live stream.
Yeah. They're totally running Christopher as the supervillain this season.
Are they? He's the sweetest person. He has such positive energy. That would be super annoying if they were.
Yes, for so many topics. Hey, we've almost made it to our 3 hours. Hashtag S for 3 hours.
As we speak, as I
6 half-hour segments. That's what we've done today.
Hey, Hawkeye, don't worry about that. Like seriously, if it's something that you think would like keep you off or keep you on or like whatever, I don't. They have zero problem with the fact that I run a Lego business now. They don't like that I used to work for Legoland. That's what's gotten all of everyone I've auditioned with like pulled out of the running early because they can't make up their mind if they want to let people who worked for Legoland part of the show or not.
Yeah. And the supervillain thing is very tongue-in-cheek. It is in this episode for sure.
Cute.
That's not to say they didn't treat Sam differently.
He's all positive, but it's also that was a specific situation where I think there was a lot there.
There may have been some drama between the two of them. I won't say there isn't.
Since we can't say for sure, since we weren't there, we should probably not.
Right.
Hey, but smash that like button and subscribe if you like what we're talking about. If you like the Lego gossip that we're like bringing into the end of this episode, because we were just like, hey, we're done early. Should we just ramble for another 30 minutes?
Should this be super short or should we stretch?
And I think,
SSS.
And we had both options in front of us.
We did. I know which one my wife would have approved.
I know
I'm going to be in the Stog house.
Okay.
Yeah, the Stog house. The Shih Tzu house.
Shih Tzu, but okay.
Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say the other one.
So Linsner, thank you. That's what I was thinking. It was just like there was two paths diverged in the woods. Is that how the poem starts? I don't feel very poetic at the time. I know, right? If Matt were watching right now, he'd be right with you, Rachel. Of course. They have Maui from April to June lug.
They're kindred spirits. The spouses are kindred spirits.
There's a lot better cities in Hawaii than Maui. Stupid lug name. All right. Shall we wrap it up?
Probably. You've got a 3-minute video, so let's do it.
I do. If you can do the banner, I will do the brand.
Here we go. Here we are.
There are no
Everybody,
mistakes.
please remember, no mistakes, only happy accidents from our friend Mr. Bob Ross.
Also remember that this outro goes for like 3 minutes. So if you're not interested in Animal Crossing, you don't have to watch. It's just a way for us to like outro. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Brickworld Crossing. This is our 5th installment of Brickworld Crossing, and you may not recognize this guy because I've been showing you my main character on my island, but this is my second resident rep. This is Cubby. And yes, I am from Chicago, but Cubby is not a reference to the Cubs because I'm not a Cubs fan. I'm a White Sox fan. But this is the Cubby Pub. The reason I named him Cubby is because in my community I'm referred to as a bear cub or an otter, and that is what his name is about. So, tonight, instead of walking you through the island, good job, Cubby, we're going to talk about the new line of LEGO Animal Crossing sets that is coming out this coming March 1st, 2024. And Cubby has a bit of an attitude compared to Mark. And he's going to talk about the things that he wishes he had in the Animal Crossing line. Because Mark is just too nice to talk about what we want changed in future sets. It's also, as you see, 10:07 p.m. on March 4th, 2022. So we're walking around late. So we might find some tarantulas. First thing that Cubby, not me, Cubby, wishes look better in the Animal Crossing sets is the tree. So when I first saw the trees in the teaser images, I was hoping for a thicker tree, a more realistic looking tree. I kind of understand why LEGO decided to go this way, because in the past, this basic shape you see here in the game was represented very closely in some of the larger molds they did for the basic lines in LEGO sets that you see here. And that's pretty close. And I think the Animal Crossing line, as the Mario Kart line did, kind of are erring on the side of caution when it comes to people who will be interested in the sets, but not necessarily have a lot of skill or experience building LEGO sets. So we got a more simple tree, and that's fine. Again, I hope we see something a little bit more intricate in its design in future Animal Crossing LEGO sets, as we saw a lot of stuff in the Mario Kart line improve as the line produced more and more waves. And I'm hoping that we'll see as many waves as we've seen in the Super Mario Brothers line. Not Mario Kart, because we haven't seen that yet. But I hope we'll see as many improvements that we saw in the Super Mario Brothers line in the Animal Crossing line as we see new waves produced, which I certainly hope we do see new waves produced. Because while it's not perfect, I am very happy with the first wave of the Animal Crossing line. And I know a lot of people feel it was lackluster, feel it was this, feel it was that, but I feel as LEGO fans and... Oh, hey, that's where we ended.
Oh.
All right. Yep. I told you I couldn't hear it because I was doing it while we were doing the live stream. So there we have it. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Next week. Bye.